The Art of the Maya, Ancient Civilization's Creative Legacy, written by High Event, narrated by Kara Miller. Chapter 1, Introduction to Maya Civilization. The Maya civilization, one of the most sophisticated and fascinating ancient cultures in the Americas, flourished in present-day Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. Spanning over 3,000 years, from the pre-classic period around 2000 BCE to the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century, the Maya achieved remarkable advancements in many fields, including architecture, mathematics, astronomy, and, of course, art. Maya civilization was composed of numerous city-states, each functioning independently with its own rulers, but all united by a shared cultural and religious framework. The civilization reached its peak during the Classic period, 250 to 900 CE, a time marked by the construction of large cities, monumental architecture, and flourishing artistic expression. Major cities such as Tikal, Palenque, Copan, and Calakmul were not only political and economic centers, but also cultural hubs, where art was a powerful tool for communication, propaganda, and religious ritual. Art played a central role in Maya society, reflecting their deep religious beliefs, social structures, and relationships with the natural and supernatural worlds. The Maya believed in a cyclical universe governed by the gods, and their art was often infused with themes of mythology, astronomy, and ritual. The most impressive artistic achievements were closely linked to religious practices, with rulers and elites commissioning works that depicted their divine right to rule and their connection to the gods. Art was not just for aesthetic pleasure. It was also a means of political and religious expression, marking moments of victory, defeat, and divine favor. Maya art is unique for its combination of function and symbolism. Rather than simply decorative, many artworks served ritualistic purposes, such as in the elaborate frescoes and carvings found in tombs, temples, and palaces. The Maya were skilled in a wide range of artistic media, including sculpture, painting, ceramics, weaving, and jewelry making. Their art forms were not static but evolved over time, influenced by both internal innovation and external contacts with other cultures. The Maya also created one of the most sophisticated writing systems in the ancient world, hieroglyphics, combined with a complex calendar system that tied their artwork to specific dates and events. This written language allowed them to record history, mythology, and scientific knowledge, ensuring that their artistic legacy would survive for future generations to study and admire. Through the surviving works of Maya art and architecture, we gain valuable insights into the civilization's worldview, political structures, and their remarkable ability to integrate art into every aspect of daily life. Overview of the Maya culture. The Maya civilization, one of the most advanced societies in pre-Columbian Mesoamerica, developed in the lowland regions of southeastern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. Spanning over 3,000 years, the Maya civilization is known for its achievements in art, science, mathematics, and social organization. Unlike many ancient civilizations, the Maya civilization was composed of numerous independent city-states, each with its own ruler and governance, yet all shared common cultural practices, language, and religious beliefs. The Maya are perhaps most famous for their intricate and highly accurate calendar systems, which were based on both lunar and solar cycles. This mathematical precision was essential not only for agricultural planning, but also for understanding the cosmos and religious ceremonies. Their calendar, combined with their written hieroglyphic script, allowed the Maya to document historical events and maintain a complex understanding of time, a concept that was deeply interwoven with their worldview. Religion played a pivotal role in Maya culture, with a pantheon of gods associated with natural elements such as the sun, rain, and maize. Rituals, including bloodletting, offerings, and sacrifices, were performed to maintain cosmic balance and ensure agricultural fertility. These ceremonies were often conducted in grand temples and pyramids, which served as focal points of Maya cities. The Maya believed that their rulers were intermediaries between the gods and the people, and their authority was often depicted in monumental art and architecture. Maya society was stratified, with a distinct hierarchy that included kings, nobles, priests, artisans, farmers, and laborers. The ruling elite controlled the political and religious aspects of society, while commoners provided the labor that sustained the city-states. The elite also played a key role in commissioning artwork, much of which was used to assert political power and religious legitimacy. Art and architecture were deeply intertwined, and every major Maya city featured grand structures such as palaces, temples, and observatories, which served both as symbols of power and as places for religious practices. Despite the grandeur of their achievements, the Maya civilization experienced periods of collapse, with some major cities abandoned by the end of the 9th century. However, the civilization did not disappear entirely, as many southern cities fell, while others in the north continued to thrive until the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century. The lasting legacy of the Maya is found in their art, architecture, and cultural traditions, which continue to influence the descendants of the Maya people today. The geographical scope of the Maya civilization. The Maya civilization spanned a vast region across Mesoamerica, primarily covering parts of present-day Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. This expansive territory was divided into three main geographic regions: the southern lowlands, the northern lowlands, and the highlands. Each of these areas offered distinct environments that shaped the development of Maya society, agriculture, and culture. The southern lowlands, located in modern-day Guatemala, southern Mexico, and western Belize, were the heartland of the Maya civilization. This region, known for its dense rainforests and fertile soil, supported the growth of large city-states, such as Tikal, Copan, and Palenque. These cities were powerful centers of politics, trade, and religion, thriving between the 3rd and 9th centuries. The dense jungle environment, while challenging, provided rich resources such as timber, and the area's varied landscapes allowed for sophisticated agricultural practices like terracing and raised fields. In contrast, the northern lowlands, which include parts of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, were characterized by dry, less fertile terrain, but had abundant resources like limestone. Here, major cities such as Chichen Itza and Uxmal emerged, known for their distinctive architectural styles, including large pyramids and intricate carvings. The northern cities thrived from around the 10th to the 16th centuries, during the post-classic period, when trade networks and the interaction between different Maya regions were at their peak. The northern lowlands also had access to the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, facilitating maritime trade. The highlands, encompassing parts of southern Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras, provided a stark contrast to the lowland regions. This mountainous terrain had a cooler climate and was less conducive to large-scale agriculture compared to the lowlands. However, the highlands were still an important cultural and political region, with significant cities such as Camanaljuyu and Huitlapan. The highland Maya were skilled in agriculture, utilizing techniques like terrace farming on the slopes of mountains, and they played a crucial role in trade and culture, especially with the lowland regions. Throughout these diverse regions, the Maya established complex trade networks, connecting distant areas and exchanging goods such as obsidian, jade, cacao, textiles, and pottery. These interactions contributed to the richness and continuity of Maya civilization, despite the geographical diversity of the region. Each area within the Maya realm contributed its unique characteristics to the broader cultural landscape, making the Maya civilization one of the most impressive and enduring in the ancient Americas. Historical timeline of the Maya. The history of the Maya civilization spans over 3,000 years, marked by distinct phases of growth, prosperity, decline, and resurgence. It is traditionally divided into three main periods: the pre-classic, classic, and post-classic, each representing different stages of cultural, political, and artistic development. The pre-classic period, beginning around 2000 BCE and lasting until approximately 250 CE, marks the early formation of the Maya civilization. During this time, the Maya people began to establish their agricultural practices, such as the cultivation of maize, which became central to their economy. The first permanent settlements emerged, and the development of early ceremonial centers can be seen in places like Nakbe and El Mirador in the southern lowlands. This period also saw the development of early Maya art, pottery, and the beginning of the Maya writing system, laying the foundation for future urbanization and cultural evolution. The Classic period, from around 250 to 900 CE, is often considered the pinnacle of Maya civilization. It was during this era that the most iconic and advanced Maya cities, such as Tikal, Palenque, Copan, and Calakmul, flourished. The Maya constructed grand architectural structures, including towering pyramids, temples, and palaces, while their art, particularly in sculpture and painting, reached new heights. The Classic period also saw the rise of powerful dynasties, with rulers who played an essential role in maintaining religious and political stability. The Maya engaged in complex rituals, astronomical observations, and the development of intricate calendars. Their hieroglyphic writing system was extensively used to record historical events, royal lineages, and mythology. However, by the end of the 9th century, many southern Maya cities experienced a significant decline, often referred to as the Classic Maya collapse. This mysterious event is believed to have been caused by a combination of environmental factors, warfare, and social upheaval. While some cities fell into ruin, others in the northern lowlands, such as Chichen Itza and Uxmal, continued to thrive during the post-classic period, 900 to 1500 CE. The post-classic era was marked by increased trade, technological advancements, and the emergence of new political structures. Despite the challenges of this period, the Maya continued to create art, architecture, and literature that reflected their enduring cultural identity. The arrival of the Spanish in the early 16th century marked the end of the Maya civilization as it had existed for centuries. Although many Maya city-states were eventually conquered, Maya culture persisted in various forms. Today, the legacy of the Maya civilization continues to influence the region's culture, language, and art. Significance of art in Maya society. Art played a crucial and multifaceted role in Maya society, serving not only as a form of aesthetic expression, but also as a powerful tool for religious, political, and social communication. The Maya people viewed art as a means to honor the gods, assert political power, and document history, making it deeply embedded in both the sacred and secular aspects of their lives. Art was not simply decorative. It was a medium through which the Maya conveyed their complex worldview and societal structures. At the heart of Maya art was religion. The Maya had a polytheistic belief system, with gods representing natural forces such as the sun, rain, and maize, which were vital to their survival. Religious ceremonies, many of which involved the ruler and elite class, often centered around artwork. For example, large-scale carvings and murals were used in temples and palaces to depict divine figures, creation myths, and ritual events. These artworks were meant to invoke the favor of the gods and ensure cosmic balance, with the belief that the gods' energies could be channeled through art to benefit the community. The Maya rulers, seen as intermediaries between the gods and the people, often commissioned artworks to demonstrate their divine right to rule and to legitimize their authority. Maya art was also significant in political life. Monumental stone carvings, often found at city centers, recorded the deeds and genealogies of rulers, documenting battles, alliances, and other significant events. These stelae and altars served as public declarations of power and prestige, emphasizing the ruler's role in maintaining order and the favor of the gods. The depiction of rulers in fine art, whether in murals, sculptures, or ceramics, reinforced their elevated status within society. Art was thus not only a reflection of Maya society, but a means to shape public perception and consolidate power. Additionally, Maya art was essential in everyday life, with artisans producing beautifully crafted pottery, textiles, and jewelry. These objects, while often utilitarian, were also works of art, intricately decorated with motifs representing deities, animals, or cosmological symbols. These items were used in daily rituals and traded across the Maya world, further integrating art into their social and economic systems. Art was a universal language within Maya society, linking different regions and peoples through shared symbols, practices, and aesthetics. In sum, the significance of art in Maya society extended far beyond beauty and craftsmanship. It was a vital instrument in expressing and reinforcing religious beliefs, political power, and social cohesion, making it an inseparable part of their cultural legacy. Chapter 2: The Origins of Maya Art. The origins of Maya art can be traced back to the early stages of Maya civilization, beginning around 2000 BCE during the pre-classic period. As the Maya transitioned from a nomadic, hunter-gatherer society to settled agricultural communities, they began to develop the cultural and artistic traditions that would shape their civilization for millennia. The earliest forms of Maya art were deeply influenced by their environment, religious beliefs, and growing social structures. During the pre-classic period, the Maya began to build permanent settlements, particularly in the southern lowlands of present-day Guatemala and Mexico. These early communities created rudimentary art forms, with pottery being one of the first mediums for artistic expression. Pottery, often adorned with simple geometric patterns and motifs, served both functional and decorative purposes. These early works reflect the Maya's deep connection to their natural surroundings, as well as their emerging social organization. Pottery was used for cooking, storage, and ritual practices, and its decoration began to include symbols associated with the supernatural, indicating the beginning of religious and symbolic representation in their art. As Maya society became more complex, particularly during the Middle Pre-Classic period, 1000 BCE to 250 CE, art began to evolve in both style and purpose. The Maya began to construct larger ceremonial centers, and their art began to take on more monumental forms. Stone carvings, stela, and altars became more common, often depicting deities, mythological scenes, and early rulers. These early representations were intended to document important religious and political events, illustrating the divine power of the rulers and their connection to the gods. The Maya were also developing a written language, and by the late pre-classic period, hieroglyphic inscriptions were becoming integrated into their art, linking imagery with written history and further deepening the symbolic function of their creative expressions. During the pre-classic and early classic periods, Maya art was also influenced by contact with other Mesoamerican cultures, such as the Olmec, who had a significant impact on the development of Maya iconography. The Olmec's jaguar motifs, colossal stone heads, and other symbolic imagery can be seen reflected in early Maya art, particularly in their sculptures and ceremonial objects. In sum, the origins of Maya art are rooted in the blending of local traditions, religious beliefs, and external influences. As the civilization evolved, so did their artistic expressions, transitioning from simple pottery to grand monuments that would define the Maya artistic legacy. These early forms laid the foundation for the vibrant and intricate art that would flourish during the classic period and beyond. Early influences on Maya art. The development of Maya art was shaped by a variety of influences, both internal and external, that contributed to the rich and diverse aesthetics seen in later periods. Early Maya art, particularly during the pre-classic period, 2000 BCE to 250 CE, was influenced by the region's environment, religious beliefs, and interactions with neighboring Mesoamerican cultures. These early influences set the stage for the distinct artistic traditions that would later flourish during the classic and post-classic periods. One of the most significant external influences on early Maya art came from the Olmec civilization, which is often regarded as the mother culture of Mesoamerica. The Olmecs, who thrived along the Gulf Coast of present-day Mexico, developed distinctive artistic styles that were later adopted and adapted by the Maya. Olmec iconography, particularly their representations of jaguars, serpent motifs, and colossal stone heads, left a lasting impact on Maya art. These symbols were often reinterpreted by the Maya to fit their own cosmological and religious views. For example, the jaguar, which was associated with strength and the underworld in Olmec culture, became an important symbol for the Maya as well, representing the night, death, and transformation. In addition to the Olmec, the Maya were influenced by other Mesoamerican cultures, such as the Zapotecs and the Teotihuacanos. During the early Classic period, 250 to 600 CE, trade networks flourished across Mesoamerica, allowing for the exchange of not only goods but also ideas and artistic techniques. The Teotihuacanos, for example, were known for their architectural styles and large-scale murals, which influenced the Maya in terms of both aesthetic choices and symbolic representations. Teotihuacan's influence is particularly evident in the Maya city of Tikal, where murals and sculptures with similar motifs and styles have been discovered. Internally, the Maya's own evolving religious and cosmological beliefs were pivotal in shaping their artistic output. As the Maya developed a complex pantheon of gods and mythologies, art became a tool to express and honor these beliefs. Early Maya art was focused on the representation of divine figures and the afterlife, often portrayed through intricate pottery, figurines, and carvings. These objects were used in rituals, serving both as offerings to the gods and as symbolic markers of the power and prestige of Maya rulers. Thus, early influences on Maya art were multifaceted, drawing from external Mesoamerican cultures, as well as from the Mayas' internal religious, social, and political needs. Over time, these influences were synthesized into a unique artistic tradition that would endure for centuries, becoming one of the most distinctive and sophisticated artistic legacies of the ancient Americas. Pre-classic Maya art and architecture. The pre-classic period of Maya civilization, spanning from around 2000 BCE to 250 CE, marked the formative stages of Maya art and architecture. During this time, the Maya began to establish the cultural, social, and religious foundations that would later define their civilization. While the artistic and architectural achievements of this era may seem more modest compared to the grandeur of the Classic period, they were essential in laying the groundwork for the later development of Maya culture and artistic expression. Maya art in the pre-Classic period was initially focused on small-scale objects such as pottery, figurines, and stone carvings. Pottery was among the earliest forms of artistic expression, and it evolved from simple utilitarian designs to more intricate forms featuring symbolic decoration. Pottery vessels were adorned with geometric patterns, animal motifs, and depictions of gods, serving both everyday and ritualistic purposes. These vessels were often used in ceremonial contexts and were frequently buried with the dead, suggesting their importance in religious practices. As the Maya began to establish permanent settlements, the decoration of pottery and other objects became more refined, incorporating representations of supernatural beings and mythical creatures that would become central to Maya iconography. One of the most important early artistic achievements of the pre-Classic period was the development of Maya sculpture. The Maya began to carve stone monuments, including altars and stelae, which would later become iconic features of their civilization. These early monuments were typically smaller in scale than the massive stelae of the Classic period, but they served a similar purpose: to commemorate important events, religious rituals, and the deeds of rulers. The Maya also began to incorporate hieroglyphic writing into their artwork during this time, marking the beginnings of their sophisticated written language. These early inscriptions, though fewer in number than those of later periods, were already used to document significant political and religious events. In terms of architecture, the pre-Classic Maya began to experiment with monumental construction, albeit on a smaller scale than the towering pyramids and grand palaces that would later define the civilization. Early Maya cities, such as Nakbe and El Mirador, featured large platforms and pyramidal structures made of limestone and other local materials. These structures, although not as elaborate as those of the classic period, were likely used for ceremonial purposes and marked the emergence of a new urban landscape. The focus on ceremonial spaces reflects the growing importance of religion and social hierarchy in Maya society. While the art and architecture of the pre-classic Maya were still in their developmental stages, they laid the foundation for the sophisticated and highly refined artistic achievements of the classic period. The use of symbolism, the blending of natural and supernatural elements, and the emphasis on ritual and cosmology would continue to shape Maya art for centuries to come. The rise of Maya city-states. The rise of Maya city-states marked a significant shift in the social, political, and cultural development of the civilization. This transformation occurred primarily during the late pre-classic, 400 BCE to 250 CE, and early classic periods, 250 to 600 CE, when the Maya transitioned from small agricultural villages to powerful urban centers. The emergence of city-states was a pivotal moment in Maya history as it led to the development of complex social structures, monumental architecture, and an elaborate system of politics and trade. The establishment of city-states was driven by the Mayas' increasing reliance on agriculture, particularly the cultivation of maize, which allowed for the support of larger populations. As agricultural techniques improved, surplus food production enabled some communities to grow beyond small villages, leading to the formation of early cities. These cities were typically centered around ceremonial centers and were often located in regions rich in natural resources, such as the Petén Basin in modern-day Guatemala, which was home to famous city-states like Tikal, Calakmul, and El Mirador. Each city-state was an independent political entity governed by a ruler or dynasty that controlled the surrounding territories. The rulers of these city-states were often seen as divine intermediaries between the gods and the people, and their authority was legitimized through elaborate religious and political rituals. As the Maya cities grew in power, rulers commissioned the construction of monumental architecture, including pyramids, palaces, and ball courts. These structures were not only symbols of political authority, but also served as sites for religious ceremonies, which reinforced the ruler's divine right to govern. The city-states of the Maya civilization were often in competition with one another, engaging in wars and alliances to expand their influence. These conflicts were frequently depicted in Maya art, such as stela and murals, which recorded the achievements of rulers and the outcomes of battles. Warfare played a central role in the political landscape, as capturing prisoners and acquiring territory were seen as ways to maintain or enhance a ruler's power. However, city-states were also interconnected through trade networks, which facilitated the exchange of goods like jade, obsidian, and textiles, as well as cultural and religious ideas. The rise of Maya city-states set the stage for the flourishing of Maya culture during the Classic period, 250 to 900 CE, when the city-states reached their peak in terms of population, architectural development, and artistic production. The political, social, and religious practices that emerged during this time shaped the Maya civilization for centuries, leaving behind a legacy of sophisticated art, architecture, and cultural traditions. The Maya city-state system, though decentralized, created a rich and diverse cultural landscape that has continued to fascinate scholars and the public alike. The role of religion and rituals in shaping Maya art. Religion and rituals played a central role in the development of Maya art, as they were deeply intertwined with every aspect of Maya society. The Maya viewed their world as being governed by a complex interplay of gods, spirits, and cosmic forces, and this worldview was reflected in their artistic creations. Art was not merely a form of aesthetic expression, but a sacred tool used to communicate with the divine, commemorate rituals, and reinforce social and political hierarchies. Maya religion was polytheistic, with a pantheon of gods governing various elements of the natural and supernatural world. These gods were often depicted in Maya art, particularly in the form of sculptures, murals, and ceramics. The imagery of deities and mythological scenes was not only a means of honoring the gods, but also served to reinforce the belief that rulers and priests acted as intermediaries between the divine and the human realms. The art created to honor these gods played a vital role in rituals, which were designed to ensure cosmic balance, agricultural fertility, and the well-being of the community. One of the most significant forms of ritual in Maya society was bloodletting, a practice believed to appease the gods and maintain the cyclical balance of the universe. The act of offering blood, often through self-sacrifice by rulers or elites, was depicted in Maya art, particularly on stelae and ceramics. These artworks often show scenes of rulers engaging in bloodletting ceremonies, emphasizing their role as divine intermediaries. The connection between the ruler and the gods was solidified through such rituals, and the art that portrayed these acts reinforced the ruler's authority and divine right to govern. Another important ritual that shaped Maya art was the creation of offerings. Objects such as jade figurines, pottery vessels, and carved stone monuments were created and buried as part of ceremonial practices. These offerings were often placed in sacred spaces like temples, tombs, or under altars, where they were believed to invoke the gods' favor and ensure the prosperity of the city. The intricate design of these objects, often featuring symbolic representations of the gods or animals associated with the divine, reflects the importance of ritual in Maya art. Art was also essential in marking major events in the religious and political calendar, such as the coronation of a ruler or the performance of ceremonies tied to agricultural cycles. Murals, stelae, and painted codices often recorded these events, providing not just a historical record, but also a visual affirmation of the cosmic forces at play. By embedding religious symbols, divine imagery, and ritual acts into their art, the Maya reinforced the connection between their spiritual beliefs and their daily lives, creating a rich artistic tradition deeply rooted in religious and ritualistic practices. Chapter 3: Maya Architecture and City Layout. Maya architecture and city layout represent some of the most iconic and enduring elements of the civilization's cultural legacy. The design and construction of Maya cities, including their monumental buildings and ceremonial spaces, were not only architectural feats, but also reflections of the Maya's cosmological and religious beliefs. The layout of these cities, the placement of structures, and the construction of temples, palaces, and plazas were all carefully planned to align with the natural environment and the Maya understanding of the cosmos. At the heart of many Maya cities was a central plaza, often surrounded by monumental structures such as pyramids, temples, and palaces. These plazas were the focal points for civic, religious, and social life, and they often hosted public rituals, ceremonies, and gatherings. The buildings in these central areas were constructed with careful attention to orientation, typically aligned with cardinal directions or astronomical events like solstices and equinoxes. This alignment reflected the Maya belief in the interconnectedness of the built environment and the cosmic order, a principle that guided the construction of sacred spaces across the civilization. The most notable architectural feature of Maya cities was the pyramid, which served as a symbol of the axis mundi, the center of the world. Pyramids were typically constructed as stepped structures, with a series of platforms leading up to a shrine or temple at the summit. These temples, often dedicated to gods or ancestors, were places for offerings and rituals. The large pyramids at cities like Tikal, Copan, and Calakmul not only served as religious centers, but also symbolized the ruler's connection to the divine, with the king often depicted as a god king, a living deity whose authority was reinforced by the grandeur of these structures. Palaces were another central component of Maya cities, often serving as residences for the elite and the royal family. These structures were typically built around courtyards and were adorned with elaborate frescoes, carvings, and murals that depicted scenes of power, divine authority, and the ruler's role in maintaining cosmic harmony. The palaces were not only places of governance, but also represented the political center of Maya society, where rulers could engage in public ceremonies, make important decisions, and demonstrate their connection to the divine through ritual acts. The Maya also built ball courts, which were central to the culture's ritual and political life. These courts, often located in the center of cities or near the ceremonial plazas, were the sites for the Mesoamerican ball game, a sport imbued with religious significance. The ball game was a symbolic reenactment of the battle between day and night, with the winner's victory representing the triumph of light and life. Overall, the architecture and city layout of the Maya were intricately tied to their religious, political, and social systems. Through their careful design and alignment, the Maya created cities that were not only functional, but also deeply symbolic, embodying their cosmological views and reinforcing their cultural identity for generations. Iconic Maya architecture styles. Maya architecture is renowned for its distinct and highly symbolic styles, which were used to express political power, religious devotion, and cosmic beliefs. The architecture of the Maya civilization evolved over several centuries, with regional differences and stylistic variations reflecting the culture's adaptation to its environment and changing socio-political dynamics. Despite this diversity, certain architectural features and styles are universally recognized as iconic symbols of Maya civilization, particularly in their ceremonial and urban planning. One of the most prominent features of Maya architecture is the stepped pyramid, often associated with grand ceremonial centers. These pyramids, or temples, were constructed with a series of stepped platforms, each one smaller than the one below, culminating in a flat summit where religious rituals were conducted. These pyramids were symbolic of the Maya's cosmological worldview, with their upward steps representing a journey from the earthly realm to the divine. The most famous example of this architectural style is the Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza, which features 91 steps on each of its four sides, symbolizing the number of days in the Maya solar year. The Maya also employed a distinctive form of corbel vaulting in their architecture, which allowed for the creation of large, enclosed spaces, such as temples and palaces, without the use of traditional arches. This technique involved stacking stones in a gradual inward slope, which created a roof structure that could bear the weight of the building's upper levels. The corbel vault is often seen in Maya city centers, where it was used to roof structures such as the temples atop pyramids or the palaces of elite rulers. Another iconic element of Maya architecture is the presence of elaborate stone carvings and reliefs on buildings, particularly on stelae and altars. These reliefs often depicted rulers in elaborate ceremonial dress, engaging in rituals or making offerings to the gods. The carvings were used not only for decoration, but also as a means of recording historical events, such as military victories, royal marriages, or the ascension of new rulers. The city of Copan, in modern-day Honduras, is particularly known for its detailed stela and altars, which are some of the best preserved examples of Maya art and inscription. Maya palaces were also highly influential in shaping architectural style. These multi-storied buildings, often constructed around central courtyards, were designed with both functionality and aesthetics in mind. They were decorated with murals, intricate carvings, and other artwork that symbolized the ruler's divine authority. The architecture of these palaces reflects the Maya's hierarchical society and the close connection between their rulers and the divine. Together, these architectural elements represent the creativity and innovation of the Maya civilization, which balanced beauty, functionality, and religious significance in every aspect of its urban design and monumental construction. Temples, pyramids, and palaces. Temples, pyramids, and palaces are some of the most enduring and recognizable elements of Maya architecture, representing not only the civilization's architectural prowess, but also its deep spiritual and political significance. These monumental structures were central to the Mayas' cosmological beliefs, political systems, and societal organization, often symbolizing the sacred connection between the divine, the ruler, and the people. The pyramid was perhaps the most iconic of all Maya architectural forms, often serving as the centerpiece of ceremonial and religious life. Constructed as multi-stepped platforms, these pyramids were designed to symbolize the connection between the earth and the heavens. The steep steps leading to the summit were meant to represent the ascent to the divine realm, where the gods resided. Temples were built atop many pyramids, serving as sacred spaces for religious rituals, including offerings, sacrifices, and other ceremonies dedicated to deities. The Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza is one of the most famous examples of this design, with its astronomical alignment marking the equinoxes and solstices, further enhancing its religious and symbolic significance. Palaces, on the other hand, were the centers of political and administrative life. These grand, multi-storied structures often housed the elite and the royal family, with spacious courtyards, chambers, and rooms designed for both governance and daily life. Palaces were also places of ceremonial importance, where rulers and priests performed rituals that reinforced the political and religious hierarchy. The architecture of these palaces reflected the Mayas' understanding of social order, with large courtyards at the heart of the buildings where public ceremonies could take place. Carved reliefs, murals, and inscriptions often adorned the walls of palaces, depicting the divine authority of the ruler, historical events, and the mythology that underpinned Maya belief. Temples, particularly those placed at the highest points of pyramids, were dedicated to gods or ancestral spirits and were used for important religious rituals. These structures were often small, intricately designed, and richly decorated with carvings and murals that depicted gods, celestial beings, and mythological creatures. The temples at the top of pyramids, like the Temple of the Inscriptions at Palenque and the Temple of the Jaguars at Chichen Itza, were not just places of worship, but also served as symbolic links between the mortal realm and the divine. These temples were designed to impress and inspire awe, reinforcing the sacred role of the ruler and the importance of religion in Maya society. Together, temples, pyramids, and palaces represented the core of Maya city life, integrating religious and political functions in the architecture of their civilization. These monumental structures reflected the Mayas' worldview, where the divine and the earthly were intertwined, and they remain a testament to their lasting legacy. The layout of Maya cities. The layout of Maya cities was carefully planned and structured to reflect the civilization's cosmological beliefs, social hierarchy, and religious practices. Unlike the chaotic layouts of some other ancient civilizations, Maya cities were designed with a clear order that symbolized the connection between the sacred and the mundane, the earthly and the divine. The arrangement of buildings, streets, and public spaces was central to the Mayas' worldview, where architecture was not only a functional necessity, but also a reflection of their spiritual and cultural values. At the core of many Maya cities was a large central plaza, typically surrounded by monumental structures such as pyramids, temples, and palaces. These plazas served as the heart of urban life, hosting public ceremonies, festivals, and social gatherings. The plazas were often used for rituals and performances that reinforced the power of the elite and the divine order. They were open spaces, facilitating communal interaction and symbolizing the balance between the heavens and the earth. The central location of these plazas demonstrated their importance as the focal point of religious, political, and social life. The architecture around the plaza was characterized by large pyramidal structures, often topped with temples. These temples, dedicated to gods and ancestors, were situated on the highest points of the city, signifying their proximity to the divine realm. The positioning of these temples was also aligned with the cardinal directions, solstices, and celestial events, underscoring the Mayas' sophisticated estimated understanding of astronomy and its role in their spiritual practices. Pyramids like the Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza and the Temple of the Inscriptions at Palenque exemplify this alignment and their symbolic function as gateways to the gods. Maya cities were also home to administrative and residential areas. Palaces, often large and elaborately decorated, were situated near the central plaza and were used by the elite and the royal family. These multi-story structures were designed with courtyards, chambers, and rooms that served both political and ceremonial purposes. In addition to palaces, the cities included residential structures for the common people, often arranged in clusters or neighborhoods that were distinct from the ceremonial core. The layout of these areas reflects the social stratification of Maya society, with the elite and rulers occupying the more central and elevated spaces, while the lower classes lived in more peripheral or less prominent locations. In addition to these core elements, Maya cities featured other specialized areas, such as ball courts for the ritual ball game, plazas for social interaction, and ceremonial platforms for offerings. The strategic planning and layout of these cities showcase the Mayas' understanding of urban design as not just a practical necessity, but as an expression of their cosmology, religion, and social organization. Through their city layouts, the Maya created urban environments that were both functional and deeply symbolic, reinforcing the civilization's connection to the gods and the natural world. The role of architecture in Maya cosmology. Maya architecture was deeply intertwined with the civilization's cosmological beliefs, reflecting their understanding of the universe, the divine, and their place within it. The arrangement of buildings, temples, pyramids, and public spaces was not merely a matter of practical design, but a symbolic representation of the Maya's spiritual worldview. Architecture was used to align the physical world with the divine, creating spaces that allowed for interaction between the human and the celestial. Central to Maya cosmology was the concept of the world tree, a cosmic axis that connected the three realms, the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. This belief was expressed in the architecture of their cities, with temples and pyramids symbolizing the world tree, acting as sacred pillars that bridged the mortal realm and the divine. The pyramids, particularly those with stepped platforms, represented the ascent from the earth to the heavens, a journey undertaken during religious ceremonies. The flat top of these pyramids, where temples were often constructed, was considered the closest point to the gods, further emphasizing the spiritual significance of these spaces. The orientation of buildings in Maya cities was also influenced by cosmological principles. Many pyramids and temples were aligned with the cardinal directions, solstices, and celestial events. For example, the Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza was aligned with the equinoxes, with a shadow cast by the pyramid's staircase that created the illusion of a serpent descending the steps, symbolizing the return of the feathered serpent god Kukulkan. This alignment with celestial phenomena underscored the Mayas' understanding of time and the cyclical nature of the universe, as well as the importance of astronomical events in their religious practices. The layout of Maya cities also reflected the cosmic order, with the most important buildings, such as temples, palaces, and pyramids, placed at the center of the city. These central locations symbolized their connection to the divine, while the surrounding areas, including residential quarters and marketplaces, were positioned more peripherally. This arrangement reinforced the hierarchical nature of Maya society, where the elite, including the rulers and priests, had a closer connection to the gods, while common people existed in the outer realms of the city. In addition, the Maya incorporated religious symbolism into the decorative elements of their architecture. Carvings, murals, and sculptures often depicted gods, celestial beings, and mythological creatures, reminding the Maya of the divine forces that governed their world. Architecture, in this sense, was more than just functional. It was a powerful tool for expressing and reinforcing the Mayas' cosmological beliefs and their relationship to the divine. Chapter 4: Sculpture and Carving in Maya Art. Sculpture and carving were central to Maya artistic expression, serving as both a medium for religious devotion and a means of commemorating historical events. The Maya excelled in a variety of sculptural forms, including intricate stone carvings, stelae, altars, and small-scale statues. These works not only reflected the civilization's exceptional skill in working with stone, but also their deep spiritual and cultural beliefs, imbuing every piece with symbolic meaning and divine significance. Stelae, upright stone monuments carved with reliefs and inscriptions, were perhaps the most iconic form of Maya sculpture. These large monuments were often erected in ceremonial centers and served as public displays of royal power, accomplishments, and divine connections. The reliefs typically depicted rulers in elaborate attire, performing rituals, receiving blessings from gods, or engaging in divine interactions. These monuments were not merely decorative but acted as important historical records, documenting significant events such as victories, ascensions to the throne, or major ceremonies. The inscriptions that accompanied the reliefs often contained detailed information about the ruler's lineage, reign, and interactions with deities, offering insight into the political and religious life of the Maya. In addition to stelae, the Maya produced elaborate altars that complemented these monuments. Carved from stone, altars were often placed at the base of stelae or within temples and plazas. These pieces were not only functional, serving as platforms for offerings and sacrifices, but they were also richly adorned with symbolic carvings. Some altars depicted gods, animals, or mythological figures, each holding a particular significance in Maya religion. The placement of these altars within sacred spaces underscored the importance of ritual and offerings in Maya life, connecting the physical world with the divine through the medium of carved stone. Maya sculptors were also skilled in producing smaller, more intimate works, such as figurines and statues that often represented gods, ancestors, and supernatural beings. These figures were typically made from materials such as limestone, jade, and other precious stones, reflecting the spiritual and material wealth of the civilization. The craftsmanship and attention to detail in these smaller works demonstrate the Mayas' understanding of both aesthetics and spirituality, as they sought to create objects that could mediate between the human and the divine realms. The Mayas' use of sculpture and carving was not limited to grand monuments and public works. It was also an integral part of daily life, with smaller pieces used in private rituals, as offerings, or as markers of social status. Whether monumental or small scale, Maya sculpture was an essential aspect of their culture, symbolizing the connection between the gods, the rulers, and the people, while also preserving the memory of the civilization's rich history. Stone carvings and stelae. Stone carvings and stelae are among the most significant and enduring forms of Maya art, playing a crucial role in both the religious and political life of the civilization. These monumental works were often used to commemorate important events, display royal power, and assert the divine legitimacy of rulers. Crafted from limestone or other durable stone materials, the carvings were typically adorned with intricate reliefs and inscriptions that conveyed complex narratives about the Mayas' beliefs, politics, and cosmology. Stelae, large upright stone monuments, were the primary form of monumental carving in Maya culture. These stones were placed in ceremonial centers, plazas, and temple complexes, and served as public declarations of royal achievements, divine interactions, and significant historical events. The carvings on stela often depicted rulers in elaborate ceremonial attire, engaging in acts of devotion, receiving divine sanction, or performing rituals such as bloodletting. These images were not just representations of the rulers, but also served as a means of recording the ruler's connection to the gods, their accomplishments, and the spiritual significance of their reign. Accompanying the reliefs on stelae were detailed inscriptions, typically written in the Maya script, which documented the events or ceremonies depicted in the carvings. These inscriptions were key to understanding Maya history, providing valuable insights into the political and religious life of the civilization. The dates, names of rulers, and references to celestial events helped the Maya track time, reinforce their understanding of cycles, and assert their position within the cosmic order. The inscriptions often included references to the gods, underscoring the belief that the ruler's authority came directly from divine sources and that the ruler's actions were guided by the will of the gods. In addition to their political and religious significance, stelae also had a ritualistic function. They were often placed at the base of pyramids or in sacred spaces, marking important locations within Maya cities. These stelae were not only monumental in their physical presence, but were also symbolic markers of the intersection between the human and the divine. The Maya believed that these carvings, especially when placed in specific locations, could facilitate communication with the gods, ensuring the continued prosperity and legitimacy of the rulers and their kingdoms. Stone carvings and stelae remain one of the most enduring legacies of the Maya civilization. These masterpieces of art and craftsmanship continue to provide invaluable insight into the Mayas' complex social, political, and religious systems, as well as their artistic prowess. Through the detailed reliefs and inscriptions on these stones, the Maya captured their world in a way that resonates across time, offering us a glimpse into their rich and vibrant culture. Maya sculpture in public spaces. Maya sculpture in public spaces played a vital role in the cultural and religious life of the civilization. These works of art were strategically placed in open plazas, temple complexes, and ceremonial centers where they could be seen and interacted with by the Maya people. Public sculptures were not only artistic expressions, but also powerful symbols of political power, divine authority, and the interconnectedness of the human and spiritual worlds. The placement of sculpture in public spaces was often tied to the central role of religion and ritual in Maya society. Public plazas, often surrounded by temples and pyramids, served as the stage for important ceremonies, festivals, and gatherings. Sculptures placed within these spaces, such as stelae, altars, and bas-reliefs, acted as focal points for these events, providing both a physical and symbolic presence that reinforced the themes of the rituals taking place. The carved images on these monuments depicted gods, rulers, mythological figures, and celestial beings, serving as intermediaries between the people and the divine. Stelae, in particular, were frequently placed in central public spaces, such as the main plazas of cities, where they would be visible to both the ruling elite and the common people. These tall stone monuments, often carved with intricate reliefs and inscriptions, commemorated important events, such as royal ceremonies, military victories, or divine blessings. By placing these monuments in public spaces, the Maya rulers communicated their divine right to rule and reinforced their connection to the gods. These sculptures were not merely decorative, but served a propagandistic function, as they publicly declared the ruler's accomplishments and legitimized their reign. In addition to stela, altars and smaller sculptures were often placed in ceremonial areas where rituals and sacrifices took place. These sculptural pieces depicted gods or other supernatural beings and were intended to invoke divine favor. The Maya believed that the gods dwelled in these images, and through offerings and rituals conducted at these sculptures, they could maintain the favor of the deities. The physical presence of these sculptures in public spaces allowed the Maya to create a sacred environment that was permeated by the divine. Overall, Maya sculpture in public spaces was an integral part of their cultural and religious identity. It not only decorated but also imbued the urban landscape with spiritual meaning, reinforcing the Maya worldview and the social hierarchy that placed rulers and priests in close communication with the gods. These sculptures were a powerful tool for uniting the Maya people under the influence of the divine, marking their cities as spaces where the sacred and the worldly intersected. Symbolism in Maya sculptural works. Symbolism was an essential element of Maya sculptural works, deeply interwoven with their religious beliefs, political systems, and understanding of the cosmos. Every aspect of a Maya sculpture, from the figures depicted to the materials used, was infused with meaning, reflecting the complex spiritual and cultural worldview of the Maya people. The symbolism in these sculptures helped convey stories, ideologies, and connections between the human and divine realms, as well as the cosmic cycles that governed their lives. A key element in Maya sculpture was the depiction of deities and supernatural beings. Gods, animals, and mythological creatures were often represented in highly stylized forms, with exaggerated features or symbolic attributes that conveyed their power and significance. For instance, the jaguar, commonly associated with strength, power, and the night, was frequently carved into sculptures as a symbol of the ruler's ability to harness such qualities. The jaguar's role in Maya mythology as both a terrestrial and supernatural being made it a potent symbol of transformation and divine power. Other animals, such as serpents, also held deep meaning, with the feathered serpent deity Quetzalcoatl being a prominent figure in Maya art, embodying the connection between earth and sky. The presence of rulers in Maya sculpture also carried rich symbolism. The rulers were often depicted in ceremonial attire, such as elaborate headdresses, jewelry, and other regalia that signified their divine right to rule. These symbols were not just ornamental, but were meant to represent the ruler's role as an intermediary between the gods and the people. By wearing specific symbols, such as the jaguar pelt or the celestial bird feathers, the ruler was asserting their divine connection and their responsibility to maintain cosmic order. This type of symbolic imagery reinforced the political power of the ruler and the legitimacy of their reign. Maya sculptors also used symbolism in the physical design of their monuments and public sculptures. Stelae, for example, were often oriented in specific directions to align with astronomical events, such as the rising or setting of the sun or the cycles of the moon. These alignments reflected the Maya's understanding of the cosmos, and the sculptures themselves acted as markers in a larger spiritual landscape. The placement of sculptures in relation to temples, altars, and plazas often followed precise architectural and astronomical principles, ensuring that the artwork was integrated into the physical and spiritual fabric of the Maya city. Through these symbols, Maya sculpture became a powerful means of communication, linking the spiritual and material worlds. Whether depicting gods, rulers, or cosmic forces, the symbolism in Maya sculptural works carried messages about power, identity, and the interconnectedness of life, death, and the universe. The importance of royal portraits and monuments. Royal portraits and monuments held immense significance in Maya culture, serving as symbols of political power, divine legitimacy, and the perpetuation of royal authority. These artistic works were central to the Maya rulers' efforts to solidify their status and communicate their divine right to rule, often transcending the personal to become emblematic of the entire ruling dynasty. These monuments and portraits were more than mere representations. They were deeply symbolic, enacting the ruler's connection to the gods, his role in maintaining cosmic order, and his responsibility to lead his people with divine favor. Royal portraits, frequently carved into stone stelae, altars, or other public monuments, were designed to immortalize the ruler's image and accomplishments. These images often depicted the ruler in ceremonial attire, emphasizing his divine connection and reinforcing his role as an intermediary between the gods and the people. By placing these portraits in public spaces, such as plazas and temple complexes, the Maya rulers ensured that their image remained visible and powerful, reminding the populace of their leadership and sacred duties. These public displays served not only as representations of the ruler's power, but also as constant affirmations of their authority, reinforcing their rule through visual means. Monuments were equally significant in the Maya world, often serving as physical manifestations of the ruler's political and spiritual achievements. These monuments could take the form of stelae, altars, tombs, and even entire structures, with each serving as a record of royal deeds and divine favor. The content of these monuments was usually carefully crafted to convey specific messages about the ruler's military victories, ceremonies, or divine approval. Through inscriptions and intricate carvings, the monuments also documented the passage of time, marking important events such as coronations, battles, and anniversaries of significant rituals. This acted as a historical record, ensuring the ruler's deeds were not only remembered, but also venerated by future generations. The placement of these royal portraits and monuments was also deliberate, reflecting the Maya belief in the sacredness of space. By positioning these monuments in strategic locations within the city, such as near temples, pyramids, or other significant structures, they reinforced the ruler's central role in maintaining cosmic and social order. These works of art symbolize the ruler's power not only in the temporal realm, but also in the spiritual one, as they were placed within spaces where the sacred and political intersected. Royal portraits and monuments were, therefore, much more than decorative elements of Maya society. They were powerful tools for reinforcing the divine and political authority of the rulers, ensuring that their influence endured long after their reigns. Through these works, the Maya communicated the essential role of their rulers in both the earthly and divine spheres, cementing the importance of the monarchy in the continuity of the civilization. Chapter 5: Maya Painting and Mural Art. Maya painting and mural art represent one of the most vibrant and detailed forms of artistic expression within the civilization. These artworks were deeply entwined with the religious, political, and social life of the Maya people, offering insight into their worldview, cultural values, and complex iconography. Unlike the more rigid and enduring forms of sculpture and architecture, painting and murals were often more ephemeral in nature, but served an equally important role in the depiction of Maya history, mythology, and daily life. Maya murals were frequently found in residential and ceremonial spaces, especially in the palaces and temples of the elite. The most well-known examples of Maya painting are found in the ruins of places such as Bonampak, a site in Chiapas, Mexico, where the murals remain remarkably well preserved. These paintings, created on plastered walls, often depicted scenes of court life, religious ceremonies, and mythological stories, offering a glimpse into the Maya's complex social and political structures. The vivid use of color and detailed portrayal of figures in ceremonial attire, dancing, feasting, and performing rituals reflect the importance of such events in Maya culture. One of the key features of Maya mural art is its depiction of the gods, supernatural beings, and the underworld. These divine figures were often shown in highly stylized forms, with symbolic motifs that communicated their power and significance. The gods were frequently portrayed interacting with rulers and nobles, emphasizing the divine sanction of the elite's power and their role in mediating between the human and divine realms. The murals also depicted the journey of souls to the afterlife, illustrating the Maya's complex beliefs about death and the spiritual world. Maya painting was also used to record historical events, such as royal victories, coronations, and the passage of time. Inscriptions alongside the murals often provided additional context, recording the names of rulers, the dates of important events, and the specific actions of individuals involved. This combination of visual and textual elements ensured that the murals served not only as decorative pieces, but also as historical documents, preserving the cultural memory of the Maya civilization for future generations. The colors and materials used in Maya painting were also significant. Natural pigments were derived from plants, minerals, and other local sources, and the Maya were skilled in creating a broad palette of vibrant hues. The application of these colors, along with the intricate details of line work, further emphasized the spiritual and symbolic nature of the art, as the Maya believed that the visual world was a reflection of the cosmos and the divine forces that shaped it. Maya mural art, with its vivid colors, complex symbolism, and detailed depictions of both the divine and the mundane, is a testament to the civilization's rich artistic tradition and its deep connection between art, religion, and social structure. Techniques used in Maya painting. Maya painting was a sophisticated art form that involved the use of various techniques and materials to create vibrant, intricate, and symbolic works of art. The process of creating these paintings was highly skilled, involving both natural resources and innovative methods that contributed to the durability and vividness of the artworks. While Maya painting is often associated with murals found in temples, palaces, and tombs, it was also applied to ceramics, textiles, and codices made from bark paper. These paintings were not only artistic expressions, but also essential tools for communicating cultural beliefs, historical events, and religious ideologies. One of the primary techniques used in Maya painting was the application of natural pigments. The Maya had an impressive knowledge of local plants, minerals, and other organic materials from which they derived a broad spectrum of colors. The vibrant reds, blues, greens, and yellows seen in Maya murals were created from substances like hematite for red, lapis lazuli for blue, and indigo for green. These pigments were ground into fine powders and mixed with binders such as water or plant resins to create paints that could be applied to surfaces with brushes or even sponges. The careful blending of these natural materials allowed Maya artists to achieve rich, deep colors that endured over time. The application of paint itself was an intricate process. Artists often worked with thin layers of paint, applying them meticulously to the plastered surfaces of murals or the walls of tombs. Multiple layers were sometimes used to create depth and enhance the visual impact of the colors. The technique of layering allowed the artists to gradually build up fine details, creating highly detailed representations of people, animals, deities, and cosmic symbols. The use of fine brushes allowed for the delicate line work seen in the details of clothing, faces, and decorative patterns. These lines were often sharp and precise, creating a sense of clarity and definition in the figures and scenes depicted. Maya painters also used the technique of contour drawing to outline figures before filling them in with color. This allowed them to define the shapes and features of the figures, ensuring that the composition was balanced and harmonious. This method was essential in ensuring that the details were accurately rendered, especially when portraying important figures such as rulers or gods. The figures were often portrayed in profile, following the Maya's conventions of human and animal anatomy, which allowed for clarity and consistency in representation. In addition to brushwork, Maya artists often employed symbolic patterns and iconography that were integrated into the painting itself. These symbols, which represented gods, celestial bodies, and important motifs, were painted with a high degree of symbolism and precision. The repetitive patterns and motifs found in the artwork were not only decorative but carried deep meanings, often relating to the Maya understanding of the cosmos, time, and mythology. Maya painting techniques, with their reliance on natural materials and intricate craftsmanship, produced artworks that were not only aesthetically beautiful, but also rich in cultural and spiritual significance. These techniques allowed Maya artists to create works that connected the human world with the divine and the supernatural, serving as powerful expressions of their civilization's beliefs and history. Notable examples of Maya murals. Maya murals stand as one of the most significant artistic achievements of the civilization, with several examples serving as windows into the culture, religion, and history of the Maya people. These murals, often found in the walls of temples, palaces, and tombs, offer valuable insights into the Maya's worldview, their complex social structure, and their profound religious beliefs. Among the many examples of Maya murals, a few have stood out due to their remarkable preservation and the depth of detail they provide. One of the most famous examples of Maya mural art is found at the Bonampak site in Chiapas, Mexico. Bonampak murals, discovered in the 1940s, remain some of the best preserved and most vibrant examples of ancient Maya painting. These murals, dating back to the late Classic period, around 790 CE, are located in the Temple of the Murals and cover the walls of a small palace complex. The murals depict a series of scenes from the royal court, including elaborate ceremonies, dances, feasts, and other courtly activities. They offer a rare and invaluable glimpse into the lives of the elite Maya, showing the ruler's power and the close relationship between the royal family and the gods. The murals are notable not only for their vivid colors and intricate details, but also for their depiction of Maya social and religious practices, including bloodletting rituals and the celebration of divine forces. Another key example is found at the site of San Bartolo in Guatemala. San Bartolo is famous for its murals, which date back to the Preclassic period, around 100 BCE. The murals at San Bartolo are significant because they provide early evidence of the Maya's mythological and religious iconography. The murals in the site structure, known as the Western mural, depict scenes of creation myths with powerful gods such as the Maya hero twins and the maize god. These murals, among the earliest examples of Maya painting, are crucial for understanding the development of Maya religious thought, particularly their beliefs about the creation of the world, the relationship between the gods, and the cycle of life and death. The detailed depictions of the supernatural realms and deities are rich in symbolism, offering valuable clues about the ritualistic practices and spiritual life of the Maya. In the tomb of the ruler of the city of Palenque, known as the Temple of the Inscriptions, murals were found inside the tomb chamber. Though many of the murals have been damaged or lost over time, what remains highlights the importance of the royal family and their association with the gods. The murals and hieroglyphic inscriptions depict scenes of the ruler's divine ancestry and his role in the continuity of Maya kingship. These images emphasize the idea that Maya rulers were not only political leaders, but also spiritual figures, chosen by the gods to maintain cosmic order. These murals, along with others scattered across various Maya sites, demonstrate the civilization's deep connection to their gods, the supernatural, and their leaders' divine status. They are invaluable not only for their artistic merit, but for the profound cultural knowledge they continue to reveal about the Maya people. Themes and iconography in Maya murals. The themes and iconography found in Maya murals are rich in symbolism and offer profound insights into the cultural, religious, and political life of the Maya civilization. These murals were not mere decorations. They served as powerful vehicles for conveying complex ideas about the gods, rulers, cosmology, and the afterlife. The use of specific motifs, colors, and figures in the murals was intentional, reflecting the Maya's deep belief in the interconnectedness of the human, natural, and divine worlds. One of the central themes depicted in Maya murals is the divine and royal authority of the rulers. Rulers were often shown in ceremonial settings, participating in rituals that emphasize their close relationship with the gods. These murals frequently depict royal figures in elaborate attire, surrounded by attendants and divine symbols, asserting the ruler's sacred role in maintaining the cosmic order. The depiction of rulers alongside deities reinforced the idea that the king was a mediator between the divine and human realms, with his power and legitimacy coming directly from the gods. This theme is especially evident in murals at sites like Bonampak, where scenes show rulers performing bloodletting rituals, which were believed to ensure fertility, agricultural abundance, and the continuation of life. Another recurring theme in Maya murals is the depiction of cosmology and the supernatural world. Many murals include scenes that portray the underworld, the heavens, and other spiritual realms. Gods, deities, and mythical creatures are often central figures in these depictions. The maize god, a key figure in Maya mythology, is commonly shown in murals symbolizing rebirth, death, and resurrection, reflecting the cyclical nature of life and the agricultural calendar. Other supernatural motifs, such as jaguars, serpents, and birds, were used to convey the power and mystery of the natural world and its spiritual significance. Maya murals also depicted key aspects of the Maya's religious rituals, including the celebration of creation myths and the role of divine forces in shaping the world. Many murals contain scenes of ceremonial feasts, dances, and sacrifices, which were integral to the religious life of the Maya. These rituals were believed to ensure cosmic balance and favor from the gods, highlighting the interdependence between the human and divine spheres. The use of bloodletting as a form of offering to the gods was another theme often portrayed in the murals, underscoring the Maya belief in the necessity of sacrifice to maintain harmony in the universe. Additionally, scenes of warfare, conquest, and royal victories are often depicted in murals, emphasizing the importance of military prowess and the role of kings in defending and expanding their kingdoms. These scenes, which sometimes include the presentation of captives or tributes, reflect the Maya's political structures and the legitimacy of rulers derived from their military achievements. In summary, the themes and iconography in Maya murals are deeply intertwined with religious, political, and social ideas. Through the careful use of symbolism, these murals communicated the Maya's understanding of the cosmos, the role of the gods, and the divine responsibility of their rulers. They remain essential to our understanding of Maya civilization and its worldview. Mural art as historical documentation. Maya mural art serves as a unique and invaluable form of historical documentation, offering scholars and historians a direct glimpse into the cultural, political, and religious practices of the ancient Maya civilization. These murals were more than just artistic expressions. They were intricately tied to the events and ideologies of their time, preserving a visual record of the Maya's daily lives, societal structures, and key historical moments. One of the most significant ways in which Maya murals functioned as historical documentation is through their depiction of royal life and the political landscape. Murals often showcased scenes of rulers engaged in rituals, ceremonies, and celebrations that were integral to Maya political and religious life. By illustrating the ruler's divine right to govern, the murals helped reinforce the power dynamics within Maya society. For instance, murals at the Bonampak site provide a detailed visual account of the courtly life, including depictions of processions, sacrifices, and political events. These murals are crucial for understanding the social hierarchy, ceremonial practices, and the role of rulers in the governance of Maya city-states. In addition to political life, murals also documented significant cultural and religious practices. Many murals portray rituals tied to the Maya's cosmological beliefs, such as bloodletting ceremonies, offerings to the gods, and the veneration of ancestors. These religious scenes not only reflect the Maya's spiritual life, but also serve as a record of their mythologies and rituals. By carefully analyzing these murals, researchers have gained a deeper understanding of the Maya's beliefs regarding life, death, and the afterlife, as well as their understanding of the natural world and its spiritual significance. Furthermore, Maya murals provide a visual history of the Maya's interactions with other cultures. Many murals depict scenes of warfare, conquests, and alliances, offering insight into the political and military history of the Maya civilization. These murals can be used to trace the rise and fall of powerful Maya city-states, documenting battles, triumphs, and the diplomatic relationships that shaped the political landscape of the region. Maya murals also offer glimpses into the everyday lives of the people, including depictions of daily activities, social customs, and the role of individuals in Maya society. Scenes of feasts, dances, agricultural practices, and labor provide a tangible connection to the daily experiences of the ancient Maya people. These murals are invaluable not only as artistic creations, but also as historical artifacts that preserve a rich and multifaceted view of Maya civilization. In conclusion, the mural art of the Maya civilization stands as a critical form of historical documentation. It preserves key aspects of Maya political, religious, and social life, offering a wealth of information about the culture that is unmatched by other forms of evidence. Through these murals, the ancient Maya left behind a visual record that continues to inform our understanding of their civilization. Chapter 6: Ceramics and Pottery. Ceramics and pottery played a vital role in Maya society, not only as practical tools but also as a significant medium of artistic expression. The Maya created a wide variety of ceramic objects, from everyday utilitarian vessels to elaborate ritual items, and their pottery offers a unique window into the culture, beliefs, and craftsmanship of the civilization. These works of art were integral to both daily life and ceremonial practices, and they have survived as some of the most important artifacts for understanding the Maya. Maya ceramics were diverse in form and function, ranging from simple, utilitarian items like bowls, plates, and storage jars to finely crafted ceremonial vessels. The materials used in their creation were sourced locally, and the pottery was often handmade, with the majority of pieces being molded from clay and shaped by hand or with the aid of rudimentary tools. These functional objects were not only essential for food storage, cooking, and serving, but many also held symbolic meanings, reflecting the spiritual and social lives of the Maya. In this way, ceramics were both an essential part of everyday life and a reflection of the culture's deeper values and beliefs. One of the most notable features of Maya pottery is its decoration. Artists often adorn ceramic vessels with intricate designs, including geometric patterns, animals, gods, and scenes from mythology. These designs were sometimes painted using natural pigments or engraved directly into the surface of the pottery. These decorative elements were not only meant to beautify the items, but also served to communicate cultural narratives and religious beliefs. In many cases, pottery was used to depict the deities, the cosmological world, and various aspects of the Maya worldview. The imagery often conveyed themes of creation, the afterlife, and the divine connection between the rulers and gods. Ritual pottery played an especially important role in Maya ceremonies. Many of the vessels found in tombs and temples were clearly designed for religious or ritual purposes, such as offerings to the gods or the performance of bloodletting rituals. Some pottery pieces were made in the shape of human figures or gods, reinforcing the spiritual significance of the objects. These ceremonial items are essential for understanding the religious and cosmological practices of the Maya. Maya ceramics also provide valuable insights into the social and political structures of the civilization. Certain pottery styles were associated with specific regions, and the production of pottery was often controlled by specialized artisans who worked within these regions. The quality and type of pottery created could indicate the status of the owner, with elite individuals possessing finely crafted pieces, while commoners might have simpler, more utilitarian vessels. In this way, ceramics offer a glimpse into the social stratification of Maya society. In conclusion, ceramics and pottery were much more than functional objects in Maya society. They were intricately tied to the culture's artistic, religious, and social life. Through their decoration, symbolism, and variety, these ceramic works offer invaluable insight into the Maya civilization, making them one of the most important artistic expressions of the ancient world. The evolution of Maya pottery styles. The evolution of Maya pottery styles is a testament to the civilization's rich and dynamic artistic traditions. Over centuries, the Maya refined their ceramic techniques, producing an array of pottery forms and decorations that evolved alongside the changes in their culture, society, and economy. The progression of these styles provides important insights into the development of the Maya civilization, reflecting both technological advancements and shifts in religious, social, and political ideologies. During the preclassic period, 1000 BCE to 250 CE, Maya pottery was relatively simple and utilitarian. Early pottery was primarily used for everyday functions such as cooking, storage, and serving food. The forms were often plain with few decorations, and the surface was often unpolished. Pottery from this era typically showed evidence of basic techniques such as hand coiling and the use of rudimentary molds. However, as the Maya society began to develop more complex social structures, particularly during the Middle Pre-Classic period, 600 BCE to 100 CE, pottery began to reflect increased levels of craftsmanship. The earliest painted pottery emerged, with geometric patterns and simple motifs. These designs laid the foundation for more elaborate and symbolic decoration in later periods. By the Classic period, 250 CE, 900 CE, Maya pottery had reached its artistic peak. Pottery became more sophisticated in both form and decoration. During this time, Maya artisans developed highly refined techniques in molding, painting, and carving. Pottery vessels were often elaborately decorated with intricate scenes depicting gods, rulers, mythological creatures, and cosmological themes. Painted ceramics became a prominent medium for recording historical events, such as royal ceremonies, warfare, and dynastic lineages. The use of vibrant pigments allowed for the creation of colorful and detailed images that helped preserve the social, political, and religious history of the Maya. Additionally, pottery shapes became more varied, with vessels taking on the form of animals, deities, or human figures to reflect the Maya's spiritual and ceremonial practices. The post-classic period, 900 CE to 1500 CE, saw changes in the style and function of pottery. As the political landscape of the Maya civilization shifted and the classic Maya cities began to decline, pottery became more utilitarian again. The decorative elements of pottery became simpler, and there was a greater focus on functional forms like bowls and storage jars. Despite the decline in the intricacy of decoration, the use of pottery for ritualistic purposes continued, though the designs became more abstract, reflecting the influence of outside cultures. In conclusion, the evolution of Maya pottery styles illustrates the growth and transformation of Maya civilization. From simple, utilitarian objects to highly detailed and symbolic works of art, the pottery of the Maya provides a rich visual record of their culture. The changes in pottery styles throughout the different periods reflect the Maya's adaptability, artistic skill, and evolving societal values, making their ceramics an essential element of their cultural legacy. Functionality of ceramics in Maya culture. In Maya culture, ceramics played a central role in daily life, serving both practical and symbolic functions. Pottery was essential for a variety of everyday tasks, from food preparation and storage to ceremonial and ritual activities. The wide range of ceramic forms created by Maya artisans demonstrates how deeply intertwined pottery was with both mundane and spiritual aspects of Maya society. These functional objects were much more than simple tools. They were integral to the social and religious practices that defined the civilization. One of the primary functions of Maya ceramics was to serve as utilitarian vessels for daily life. Bowls, jars, plates, and storage containers were crafted for the purpose of cooking, holding food, and storing liquids. The Maya developed specialized types of ceramics to meet specific needs, such as cylindrical vessels for holding cacao, a crucial element of Maya diet and rituals, or large jars for water storage. These vessels were often well-designed, durable, and tailored for particular uses, illustrating the high level of craftsmanship the Maya brought to their practical items. Functional pottery, while not always elaborately decorated, was still crafted with care and skill, reflecting the importance of these objects in everyday life. In addition to their practical uses, ceramics were also closely tied to Maya religious and ritual practices. Pottery was often used in ceremonial contexts, with special vessels created for offerings, sacrifices, and rituals. These ceremonial pieces, which included highly decorated bowls and plates, often featured symbolic motifs and iconography that were intended to invoke the gods or represent the spiritual world. Some ceramics were shaped into the forms of deities or animals, and these items were used in rituals that sought to maintain harmony with the gods and the cosmos. Maya priests and rulers would use these objects during ceremonies meant to communicate with the divine, ensuring the prosperity of the society and the favor of the gods. Ceramics also played a role in the social and political life of the Maya. Pottery could serve as a status symbol, with finely crafted pieces reserved for the elite. These high-status ceramics were often more elaborate, with intricate decorations and complex forms. The social hierarchy of the Maya was reflected in the types of pottery that individuals and families used. Some pottery pieces were inscribed with names or images of rulers, emphasizing their power and divine right to rule. In conclusion, the functionality of ceramics in Maya culture transcended mere practicality. Pottery was essential to everyday life, religious practices, and social structures. The Maya's pottery reflects the importance of these objects in maintaining the rhythm of life, from the preparation of food to the performance of rituals and ceremonies. Through their ceramic works, the Maya were able to merge the practical with the spiritual, making pottery a cornerstone of their civilization. Artistic decoration of pottery. The artistic decoration of pottery was a key aspect of Maya ceramic production, transforming everyday functional objects into beautiful, symbolic works of art. Pottery was not only designed for practical use, but also served as a medium for storytelling, religious expression, and social status. The intricate decoration on Maya ceramics provides valuable insights into the cultural, political, and spiritual life of the civilization, offering a visual language that helped communicate identity, power, and belief systems. The decoration of pottery was typically applied using a variety of techniques that included painting, incising, and molding. One of the most common methods was the use of vibrant, mineral-based paints to decorate pottery surfaces. These paints, often in red, black, and white, were applied in intricate designs which ranged from geometric patterns to more elaborate scenes depicting mythological figures, animals, and gods. The designs on pottery often reflected the cosmological and religious views of the Maya. For example, vessels might be painted with motifs representing the sun, moon, and stars, reflecting the Maya's strong connection to astronomy and the cycles of nature. Other pieces featured scenes of ritualistic events, such as the offerings to deities or royal ceremonies, emphasizing the role of pottery in Maya religious practices. In addition to painting, some Maya pottery was also adorned with incised designs. These incised patterns could be quite intricate and were often used to create detailed depictions of scenes from everyday life, mythology, or the supernatural. The precision and detail of the incising show the skilled craftsmanship of Maya artisans, who used tools made of bone or stone to carve into the clay before it was fired. These incised designs not only added texture and dimension to the pottery, but also allowed for a deeper layer of meaning and symbolism to be conveyed through the artwork. Maya ceramics also featured molded decorations. Many vessels, particularly those created for ceremonial purposes, were formed in molds to achieve more complex shapes. These molds allowed for the creation of effigy vessels, which were often shaped to resemble gods, animals, or human figures. These figures were not just decorative, they were imbued with spiritual significance, often representing deities or ancestors and playing an important role in Maya rituals. The decoration of pottery in Maya culture was not only about beautification, but also about conveying social and religious messages. The styles, colors, and iconography used in pottery design were indicators of social status and cultural beliefs. The artistic decoration of Maya ceramics allowed the civilization to express its unique worldview and to preserve stories, traditions, and power structures for future generations. Through their pottery, the Maya created lasting visual narratives that connected their people to their gods, their rulers, and their ancestors. Ceramics as a form of cultural expression. Ceramics in Maya culture were much more than functional objects. They were powerful tools for cultural expression. Pottery allowed the Maya to visually communicate their values, beliefs, and social structures, serving as a canvas for the artistic, religious, and political messages that defined their civilization. Each piece of pottery, whether it was a simple utilitarian vessel or an elaborately decorated ceremonial object, carried with it a deep cultural significance, reflecting the complex worldview of the Maya people. One of the primary ways ceramics served as a form of cultural expression was through their iconography and decoration. The images painted or incised onto the surfaces of pottery often depicted scenes from the Maya cosmos, including the gods, ancestors, and mythical creatures. These representations were not merely decorative. They were deeply symbolic, reflecting the Maya's understanding of the universe, their spiritual beliefs, and their connection to the natural world. For example, pottery could feature depictions of the gods of agriculture, such as Chak, the rain god, or represent the hero twins from the Maya creation myth, illustrating the central role of mythology and religion in Maya culture. Ceramics also served as a medium for political expression, particularly in the representation of royal figures and events. The elite members of Maya society used pottery to display their status and power, commissioning vessels that were inscribed with their names, titles, and achievements. These vessels often featured detailed scenes of royal ceremonies, battles, or divine interactions, emphasizing the legitimacy of the ruler's authority and their connection to the gods. Pottery, therefore, became an important tool for reinforcing political ideologies and ensuring that the ruler's legacy was preserved for future generations. In addition to their political and religious significance, ceramics also served as a means of social expression. The style and decoration of pottery often indicated the social class of its owner. Elaborately decorated vessels with intricate designs and motifs were typically reserved for the elite, while simpler, less decorated pottery was more common among the general population. However, the art of pottery was not confined to the elite. Even the most basic pottery forms were often crafted with a sense of artistry and skill, reflecting the cultural importance placed on craftsmanship and the aesthetic value of even everyday objects. Ultimately, ceramics in Maya culture served as a multidimensional form of expression that transcended mere functionality. Through pottery, the Maya conveyed their spiritual beliefs, political ideologies, and social structures, creating a rich visual record of their civilization. The intricate designs and symbolic meanings embedded in these objects reflect the Maya's deep connection to their environment, their gods, and their rulers, allowing their culture to be expressed, preserved, and passed down through the ages. Chapter 7: Maya Textiles and Weaving. Maya textiles and weaving were essential elements of the civilization's material culture, playing a vital role in everyday life, ceremonial practices, and social expression. From the elaborately woven garments of the elite to the simple yet functional clothing of the common people, textiles were woven with skill and care, reflecting the technological and artistic achievements of the Maya. The practice of weaving was both a practical necessity and a form of cultural expression, deeply intertwined with the Maya's religious beliefs, social organization, and environmental resources. Textile production was a highly specialized craft within Maya society, and the process began with the cultivation of cotton, the primary material used for weaving. The Maya also used other fibers, such as agave, to create textiles. Cotton was carefully grown and harvested, then spun into thread using simple tools like spindles. These threads were then dyed, often using natural dyes from local plants and insects, resulting in a wide range of vibrant colors. The Maya mastered the art of dyeing, with particular hues associated with specific cultural and ritual meanings, such as red and purple, which were often reserved for elite garments and ritual objects. The weaving process itself was typically carried out by women, who created intricate cloth on backstrap looms. These looms were portable and could be set up anywhere, making them ideal for both household and communal work. Weaving on a backstrap loom was a time-consuming process that required great skill, as the weaver had to carefully manipulate the warp and weft to create complex patterns and designs. The designs woven into Maya textiles were often geometric or symbolic, incorporating motifs related to the Maya worldview, such as representations of the gods, animals, and celestial bodies. Textiles were not just practical garments, but also acted as symbolic representations of the cosmos, with the woven patterns reflecting the cycles of nature, the movements of the stars, and the relationship between the human and divine worlds. Maya textiles were not limited to clothing. They were also used in the creation of ceremonial objects, such as banners, sashes, and ritual garments. These items were often richly decorated with symbols and designs that conveyed spiritual and social significance. For example, the clothing of Maya rulers was often adorned with intricate patterns and embroidery, signaling their high status and divine connections. Textiles played a crucial role in Maya ceremonies, as the garments worn by priests, nobility, and warriors often symbolized their roles within the ritual and social order. In conclusion, Maya textiles and weaving were essential to both the daily life and the spiritual life of the civilization. Through weaving, the Maya created a tangible representation of their world, embedding cultural, religious, and social meanings into every thread. The artistry and technical expertise involved in textile production reflect the sophistication of Maya civilization and their ability to create enduring symbols of identity, power, and cosmology. The importance of textiles in Maya society. Textiles held immense significance in Maya society, serving not only as practical items for daily life, but also as symbols of social status, political power, and spiritual beliefs. They were central to the Mayas' cultural identity, woven into the fabric of their rituals, social interactions, and even the structuring of their economy. Maya textiles were far more than simple clothing. They were deeply imbued with meaning and played a multifaceted role in the lives of the people. First and foremost, textiles were integral to the Maya social hierarchy. Clothing was a major marker of status, with the types, colors, and quality of textiles reflecting one's position in society. The elite, including rulers, priests, and warriors, wore garments made from the finest materials, often adorned with elaborate patterns and intricate embroidery. These garments were sometimes dyed with rare colors, such as purple, which was derived from a specific mollusk and reserved for high-status individuals. In contrast, common people wore simpler clothing made from coarser materials, yet even these garments were carefully crafted to serve as an expression of cultural identity. Textiles thus helped to reinforce social distinctions and communicated the wearer's role within the larger societal structure. Textiles also played a crucial role in Maya religion and rituals. Special garments were worn by priests and other participants in ceremonies, linking the wearer to the divine. The vibrant colors and intricate designs of ritual textiles were thought to carry spiritual power, and many Maya believed that the garments worn during ceremonies had a direct connection to the gods and the cosmos. For instance, certain motifs woven into clothing were believed to have protective or auspicious qualities, ensuring the success of important rituals. The weaving process itself was considered sacred, with the act of creating textiles reflecting the ordering of the universe. This sacredness of textiles was underscored by their role in royal rituals, where the clothing of rulers symbolized their divine authority and their connection to both the spiritual and earthly realms. Beyond their symbolic and religious significance, textiles were also key to Maya economics. The production of textiles was a highly skilled craft that contributed to the economy, with women often involved in weaving as part of their household duties. Textiles were traded between regions, sometimes used as currency or as gifts to solidify political alliances. The exchange of textiles further solidified the importance of these items, making them a commodity of both functional and symbolic value. In sum, textiles were much more than just clothing in Maya society. They were deeply woven into the social, political, and spiritual fabric of the civilization. Through their colors, designs, and craftsmanship, Maya textiles not only reflected the complexity of their society, but also played an active role in shaping and communicating the Maya worldview. Techniques and materials used in weaving. The art of weaving in Maya society was a highly skilled and intricate process. involving a deep knowledge of techniques and the use of natural materials. Weaving was not only a practical craft, but also a form of artistic expression, with each piece carrying cultural, symbolic, and even spiritual significance. The materials and methods used to create Maya textiles were a reflection of the civilization's deep connection to the environment and their ability to transform natural resources into beautifully crafted garments and ceremonial objects. Cotton was the primary material used in Maya weaving. It was grown, harvested, and processed by hand, with the fibers carefully spun into thread. While cotton was the most common fiber used for everyday textiles, the Maya also utilized other plant fibers, such as agave, to create textiles for specific purposes. The fibers were spun using a spindle, a tool that allowed for the creation of long threads, which were then dyed using natural dyes derived from plants, insects, and minerals. These dyes were carefully mixed to produce a wide range of vibrant colors, including reds, blues, yellows, and purples, with certain colors, like purple, being reserved for high-status garments. The dyes were often extracted from local plants and creatures, such as the cochineal insect for red and the indigo plant for blue, demonstrating the Mayas' resourcefulness and knowledge of their natural surroundings. Weaving itself was typically done using backstrap looms, which were portable and could be set up almost anywhere. This type of loom consisted of a strap that was fastened to the weaver's back, allowing them to manipulate the threads by tightening and loosening them with their body. The weaver would then use a shuttle to pass the threads across the loom, creating the woven fabric. This technique required great skill and patience, as the weaver had to ensure the threads were perfectly aligned and the patterns were precise. The process could take weeks or even months, depending on the complexity of the design and the size of the textile. Maya weavers were known for their ability to create intricate and symbolic patterns. Designs often incorporated geometric shapes, animal motifs, and representations of the gods or celestial bodies. These patterns were woven into the fabric using supplementary weft techniques, where extra threads were added to create raised patterns on the surface of the textile. The motifs were not just decorative, but carried cultural significance, often symbolizing the cosmos, the cycles of nature, or the wearer's status and role within society. In conclusion, Maya weaving was a complex and specialized craft that involved the use of natural materials and advanced techniques. The process of spinning, dyeing, and weaving required significant skill and knowledge, and the resulting textiles were not only functional, but also deeply symbolic. Through their mastery of weaving, the Maya were able to create textiles that reflected their understanding of the world and their place within it. Textile symbolism and cultural significance. In Maya society, textiles were far more than practical garments. They were rich in symbolism and carried deep cultural significance. Every aspect of Maya textiles, from the materials used to the patterns woven into them, was imbued with meaning, reflecting the civilization's values, religious beliefs, and social structures. Textiles were intertwined with Maya identity, serving as a canvas for both personal expression and the communication of broader societal messages. The colors used in Maya textiles were particularly significant, each one conveying a specific meaning or association. For example, the color red was often linked to life, fertility, and the underworld, while blue represented the heavens and water, connecting the wearer to the cosmos. Black, associated with death and the underworld, was used in specific ceremonial contexts, while white symbolized purity and the divine. These colors were not only aesthetic choices, but also carried spiritual power, with the right combination of hues believed to influence the wearer's fate or their relationship with the gods. Patterns and motifs in Maya textiles were similarly loaded with symbolism. Many designs were derived from nature, such as representations of animals, plants, and the natural elements. For example, the jaguar, a powerful symbol of strength and the ruler of the night, often appeared in royal attire and ceremonial garments. Likewise, bird motifs, particularly those depicting Quetzal birds, were symbolic of freedom and the divine, and were often woven into textiles worn by the elite. Other motifs depicted scenes from Maya cosmology, illustrating the celestial bodies, gods, or sacred events. These designs were not merely decorative. They connected the wearer to the spiritual world, reinforcing their role in the larger cosmic order. Textiles also played a crucial role in social identity. The type of garment worn indicated one's social status, with the elite sporting more elaborate and colorful garments that signified their wealth, power, and divine connection. The Maya rulers and priests often wore ceremonial clothing that was richly adorned with complex patterns and precious materials, symbolizing their privileged status and their closeness to the gods. Common people, in contrast, wore simpler clothing, although even these garments were carefully crafted and often adorned with symbolic motifs, demonstrating their connection to Maya culture and spiritual beliefs. In addition to their everyday use, textiles were central to religious rituals and ceremonies. The garments worn during sacred events were thought to hold spiritual power, and they were often used to mark transitions such as births, marriages, and deaths. The weaving process itself was regarded as a sacred act, representing the weaving of the universe and the divine order of creation. In this way, textiles were not just a reflection of the Maya worldview, but an active part of it, serving as tangible expressions of their spiritual and cultural beliefs. Ultimately, the symbolism woven into Maya textiles was a testament to the sophistication and depth of the civilization's worldview. Through these garments, the Maya expressed their understanding of the natural world, their place within it, and their connection to the divine. Textiles in religious and ceremonial contexts. Textiles played a vital role in Maya religious and ceremonial life, deeply intertwined with the civilization's spiritual practices and beliefs. The intricate process of weaving was not just a craft but a sacred act, representing the creation of the cosmos and the divine order of the universe. Maya textiles were woven with intention, with each design, color, and pattern carrying specific spiritual significance and reflecting the wearer's connection to the gods and the natural world. In religious contexts, textiles were used to symbolize the relationship between humans and the divine, acting as mediums for both personal transformation and communal rituals. Priests, rulers, and other high-ranking individuals would wear elaborately crafted garments during religious ceremonies, demonstrating their closeness to the spiritual world. These garments were often made from the finest cotton and decorated with sacred symbols and celestial motifs, linking the wearer to the forces of nature and the cosmos. The garments were often richly dyed in symbolic colors, such as red for life and fertility or blue for the heavens, each color enhancing the wearer's spiritual role in the ceremony. One of the most important uses of textiles in Maya religion was in the performance of ritual offerings and sacrifices. Ceremonial textiles were draped over altars, used to wrap offerings, or worn by participants to invoke divine favor. For example, offerings to the gods often included woven textiles, such as cloths wrapped around precious objects, food, or incense. The textiles themselves were considered sacred, carrying with them the intention and prayers of the community. The intricate patterns and motifs woven into these garments reflected the interconnectedness of the human, natural, and divine worlds, emphasizing the importance of balance and harmony. In addition to their use in ceremonies, textiles were essential in marking important life events. Births, marriages, and funerals all involve specific ceremonial textiles. These garments signified transitions and helped guide individuals through significant spiritual milestones. For instance, funeral textiles were intricately woven and often included patterns symbolizing death and the afterlife, with the cloth serving as both protection and a pathway to the next life. Similarly, textiles worn during royal rituals or public ceremonies served to display the ruler's divine mandate, reinforcing their authority and connection to the gods. The act of weaving itself was seen as a spiritual practice, with weavers often believed to possess a special connection to the divine. The loom, representing the intersection of heaven and earth, was viewed as a sacred tool, and the process of weaving was thought to mirror the cosmic order of creation. Textiles, therefore, were not simply functional items, but held deep religious and ceremonial significance, embodying the Mayas' understanding of the universe and their place within it. In conclusion, textiles were integral to Maya religious and ceremonial life, serving as sacred symbols that connected the earthly realm to the divine. Whether used in rituals, offerings, or life events, textiles embodied the Maya worldview and their belief in the spiritual power of art and craftsmanship. Through these garments, the Maya created a tangible link to the cosmos, reinforcing their connection to the gods and the cycles of nature. Chapter 8: Maya Jewelry and Adornments. Maya jewelry and adornments were integral components of the civilization's cultural identity, serving as both personal decorations and symbols of social status, religious beliefs, and cosmological connections. Crafted with intricate skill and artistic precision, Maya jewelry was made from a variety of materials, ranging from jade and obsidian to gold, shells, and feathers. Each piece of jewelry held symbolic meaning and was carefully selected or crafted to reflect the wearer's role within society, their relationship with the gods, or their ties to the natural world. One of the most highly prized materials used in Maya jewelry was jade, which was considered sacred and associated with life, fertility, and the underworld. The Maya believed jade embodied the essence of life and vitality, making it a favored material for jewelry worn by the elite and during religious rituals. Jade beads, pendants, and elaborate headdresses were worn by rulers, priests, and high-status individuals, symbolizing their power, divine connection, and eternal life. Jade's rare, vibrant green color also made it a symbol of prosperity, growth, and the vitality of nature. Gold and other precious metals were also used in the creation of Maya jewelry, although these materials were not as commonly available as jade. Gold was seen as a symbol of the sun and its connection to the gods. Gold adornments, such as earrings, necklaces, and nose rings, were often worn by the elite to demonstrate their status and wealth. While jade represented the spiritual and natural worlds, gold was more closely associated with divine light and celestial power. Gold jewelry often had intricate designs, with motifs representing celestial bodies, gods, and animals that held special meaning within Maya cosmology. Jewelry was not only used by the elite, but was also worn by other segments of Maya society, albeit in simpler forms. Common people used jewelry made from materials like shells, bones, and stones. These pieces were often more modest but still carried symbolic significance, such as representing protection, personal identity, or connection to specific deities. Common jewelry items included earrings, bracelets, and necklaces, often adorned with animal or natural motifs. Feathers, too, played a significant role in Maya adornment, particularly for royalty and warriors. Featherwork was used to create headdresses, capes, and other decorative pieces that signified high rank. The Maya associated feathers with the divine, as they represented the sky and the gods' connection to the heavens. Brightly colored feathers from exotic birds, such as quetzals, were especially prized for their beauty and rarity. Maya jewelry and adornments thus served multiple functions. They were symbols of power, representations of the divine, and expressions of cultural identity. Whether made from jade, gold, feathers, or shells, each piece of jewelry was imbued with meaning, reflecting the wearer's connection to their community, the gods, and the natural world. The artistry and craftsmanship behind these pieces demonstrate the Maya's advanced skill in metallurgy, gem cutting, and weaving, as well as their deep spiritual beliefs and sophisticated cultural practices. Materials used in Maya jewelry. Maya jewelry was made from a rich variety of materials, many of which were deeply symbolic and culturally significant. The selection of materials used in jewelry was not only a reflection of the wearer's status and wealth, but also carried spiritual and cosmological meanings that tied the wearer to the natural world and the divine. Some of the most important materials used in Maya jewelry included jade, gold, shells, obsidian, bone, and feathers, each chosen for its unique qualities and symbolic associations. Jade was perhaps the most prized material in Maya jewelry, regarded as sacred and associated with life, fertility, and the underworld. The Maya believed that jade embodied the essence of life and was linked to both the natural world and the divine. Its vibrant green color represented fertility, growth, and prosperity. Jade was used to create a wide range of jewelry, including beads, pendants, earrings, and headdresses. Rulers and high-status individuals often wore elaborate jade jewelry to signify their divine authority, and it was also used in religious rituals and offerings. Gold was another highly valued material, though not as abundant as jade. Gold held significant symbolic value, representing the sun and the gods. It was considered a celestial metal and was used to create decorative pieces such as necklaces, earrings, nose rings, and chest ornaments. Gold's gleaming color connected it to the divine light and cosmic power, and wearing gold jewelry was a way to demonstrate one's connection to the gods and the heavens. Although gold was more accessible to the elite, it was also used in smaller quantities by the broader population in simpler forms. Shells, particularly those from marine mollusks, were commonly used in Maya jewelry, especially in coastal regions. Shells were easy to obtain and often used to make beads, earrings, and necklaces. They were valued for their beauty and smooth texture, and certain types of shells, such as conchs, held symbolic associations with water and the underworld. Shells also had trade value and were often exchanged over long distances, further increasing their prestige. Obsidian, a naturally occurring volcanic glass, was another significant material in Maya jewelry. Obsidian was used to create sharp tools, but it was also fashioned into decorative pieces. Obsidian's dark, glossy appearance was associated with the night and the underworld, and it was used in the creation of earrings, pendants, and other jewelry pieces. Bone and animal teeth were also incorporated into Maya jewelry, often in the form of beads or pendants. These materials were closely linked to the natural world, representing animals, ancestors, and various gods. Feathers, particularly from exotic birds like quetzals, were used in jewelry and headdresses, symbolizing the connection between the wearer and the divine, as well as their link to the sky and heavens. The materials used in Maya jewelry were not only beautiful, but also imbued with deep cultural and spiritual significance. Each material chosen for its aesthetic appeal and symbolic power helped to create a personal and spiritual connection between the wearer, their community, and the divine forces that shape the Maya world. The role of jewelry in Maya social structure. Jewelry in Maya society played a crucial role in expressing social hierarchy and reinforcing the complex structure of Maya civilization. From the highest-ranking rulers and priests to common people, jewelry served not only as a decorative element, but also as a symbol of status, power, and cultural identity. The types of jewelry worn, as well as the materials used, were powerful indicators of an individual's position in society, their connection to the divine, and their role in the broader cosmological order. At the top of the social hierarchy, Maya rulers and elite individuals wore elaborate jewelry made from precious materials such as jade, gold, and feathers. These pieces were not just ornamental, but were imbued with deep spiritual significance. Jade, in particular, was considered sacred, symbolizing life, fertility, and the gods. Rulers wore intricate jade pendants, necklaces, and headdresses as symbols of their divine authority and to assert their connection to supernatural forces. Gold, too, was associated with the sun and the celestial realm, reinforcing the elite's role as intermediaries between the gods and the people. Wearing such high-value materials was a clear sign of an individual's wealth, power, and social importance. In addition to the royal class, the priesthood also wore distinctive jewelry, marking their spiritual authority. Priestly jewelry often featured symbolic elements such as jade, feathers, and other materials associated with ritual and divine power. These adornments were not just personal possessions, but tools used in religious ceremonies to facilitate communication with the gods. The priesthood's jewelry was often designed to reflect the wearer's role in maintaining cosmic order and their intermediary status between the human world and the divine. Common people, while not able to access the precious materials used by the elite, still wore jewelry that served as a reflection of their identity and social roles. Jewelry made from materials like shells, bone, and stone was commonly worn by the general population. These pieces, while simpler, still held personal and symbolic meaning. They might represent protection, personal connections to particular deities, or mark important life events. For example, men and women might wear earrings or necklaces to signify their maturity, while warriors or traders might wear jewelry to symbolize their roles in society. Jewelry in Maya society, thus, was not just a form of personal adornment, but a powerful cultural tool that communicated one's place within the social and spiritual hierarchy. From the highest rulers to the common folk, each piece of jewelry reflected not only the wearer's identity, but also their connection to the gods, their community, and their cosmic responsibilities. It was a tangible representation of the complex, stratified society that defined the Maya civilization. Symbolism in jewelry design. The design of Maya jewelry was deeply rooted in symbolism, with every bead, pendant, and ornament carrying significant cultural and spiritual meaning. These symbols were not merely decorative. They were woven into the very fabric of Maya society and cosmology, reflecting beliefs about the gods, the natural world, and the afterlife. Jewelry was a visual language, communicating complex ideas about identity, power, and the relationship between humans and the divine. One of the most prominent symbols in Maya jewelry was the use of jade, which was associated with life, fertility, and immortality. Jade's vibrant green color was linked to the cycle of life and rebirth, representing the interconnectedness of all living things. It was considered so sacred that it was often used in burial rites and offerings to the gods. The elite wore intricate jade jewelry as a way to assert their divine right to rule, with the stone symbolizing their connection to supernatural forces and the heavens. In fact, jade was often placed in the tombs of rulers to ensure their passage into the afterlife. Another key symbol in Maya jewelry was the serpent, which represented various forces, including fertility, renewal, and the underworld. The serpent, often depicted in the form of a snake-shaped pendant or bead, was seen as a powerful protector and guide to the spirit world. In Maya cosmology, serpents were linked to the earth and the underworld, playing a crucial role in the spiritual and physical realms. This symbol could be found in the jewelry of both rulers and warriors, suggesting its broad cultural significance. The sun and moon were also important motifs in Maya jewelry, symbolizing cosmic order and the duality of life. These celestial bodies were often represented by circular designs, with the sun symbolizing vitality, masculinity, and the daytime, while the moon represented femininity, the night, and the cyclical nature of time. Jewelry pieces incorporating these symbols served as reminders of the balance between opposing forces in the universe. Animals also held deep symbolic meaning in Maya jewelry. Creatures such as the jaguar, the eagle, and the quetzal bird were frequently depicted, with each animal symbolizing specific attributes. The jaguar, for example, was a symbol of power, strength, and the night, while the quetzal represented freedom, beauty, and the heavens. These animal motifs not only conveyed spiritual significance, but also reinforced the wearer's connection to the natural world and the divine forces that governed it. The symbolism embedded in Maya jewelry design was a testament to the culture's profound understanding of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things. Each piece of jewelry told a story, connecting the wearer to their community, their gods, and the larger cosmic forces at play. Whether worn by royalty or commoners, the jewelry served as both a personal adornment and a powerful symbol of the wearer's place in the grand scheme of Maya life and spirituality. Maya personal adornment and status. In Maya society, personal adornment was a significant marker of status, identity, and social hierarchy. Jewelry, clothing, and other forms of body decoration were not only forms of self-expression, but also important symbols of one's position within the complex social structure of the civilization. The materials used, the style of adornment, and even the way one wore such items conveyed powerful messages about an individual's role in society, their relationship to the divine, and their connection to cultural traditions. For the elite, personal adornment was a way to assert their high status and to demonstrate their divine right to rule. Royals and nobles wore elaborate jewelry made from precious materials like jade, gold, and turquoise. Jade, in particular, was highly prized for its sacred significance. It symbolized life, fertility, and the divine, and wearing it was an outward expression of one's connection to the gods. These high-status individuals also wore large, intricate headdresses and elaborate ear spools, further distinguishing themselves from the rest of society. The fine craftsmanship and precious materials used in these adornments not only reflected wealth, but also communicated a deep spiritual and political authority. Priests and other religious figures also used personal adornment to signal their important roles within Maya society. They wore jewelry made from materials like jade and seashells, often adorned with religious symbols. These adornments signified their connection to the divine and their function as intermediaries between the gods and the people. Like the ruling class, priests wore elaborate regalia to assert their authority and to signify their role in rituals and ceremonies. For common people, personal adornment was more modest, but still carried important social meaning. Jewelry made from locally available materials such as shell, bone, clay, and stone was worn by men and women alike. While these adornments did not carry the same lavishness as those of the elite, they were still used to signify life stages, personal achievements, or spiritual beliefs. For instance, a young woman might wear simple necklaces or earrings to mark her coming of age, while a warrior might wear jewelry to signify their role in the defense of the community. Beyond social rank, personal adornment in Maya culture also functioned as a means of expressing individual identity and cultural affiliation. Tattoos, body paint, and piercings were also forms of personal decoration. Tattoos, in particular, held cultural and spiritual significance, often representing personal milestones or tribal affiliation. Body modification practices, such as cranial deformation, were used to convey social status or group identity, particularly within elite circles. Overall, personal adornment in Maya society was a powerful tool for expressing status, cultural identity, and social position. Whether through fine jewelry, elaborate clothing, or body modification, adornment was a visible marker of one's role in both the physical and spiritual realms of Maya life. Chapter 9: The Maya and the Cosmos. The Maya civilization had a profound understanding of the cosmos, which was integral to their culture, spirituality, and worldview. The Maya believed that the universe was a complex, interconnected system where cosmic events and cycles influenced daily life on Earth. Their knowledge of the cosmos was based on the observation of celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, planets, and stars, and their movement through the sky. This understanding was not merely academic, but was deeply woven into their mythology, rituals, and art, shaping their religious practices and the design of their cities and monuments. Central to Maya cosmology was the concept of a cyclical universe. They believed that time was not linear, but rather a series of repeating cycles, which were governed by celestial movements. The most important of these cycles were the solar cycle, which tracked the sun's journey through the sky, and the ritual calendar, which was based on the movements of Venus. These cycles were seen as a reflection of the ongoing creation and destruction of the world. The Maya also believed that the movements of the planets, particularly Venus, were manifestations of powerful deities who had the ability to influence human affairs. Venus, for instance, was associated with the god Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, and its appearance in the sky was an important omen for the Maya. The Maya creation myth centered around the idea that the gods created and destroyed the world in a series of stages. According to this myth, the gods molded the world from the cosmic sea, creating the earth, the sky, and the underworld. These realms were represented in the Maya worldview as three distinct layers: the sky, where the gods lived, the earth, where humans resided, and the underworld, which was a dark and dangerous realm associated with death and rebirth. Each of these realms was linked to specific celestial bodies and had a corresponding influence on Maya daily life. Maya temples and architecture often reflected their cosmological beliefs, with buildings aligned to celestial events, such as the solstices and equinoxes. These alignments were not coincidental. They were part of a deliberate design intended to harmonize human activities with the movements of the cosmos. The Maya also constructed observatories, such as the one at Uashaktun, to track the positions of celestial bodies and to make accurate predictions for religious ceremonies, agricultural cycles, and political events. In Maya art, cosmic symbolism frequently appeared, with depictions of the heavens, the underworld, and the gods that governed them. Through their art, the Maya sought to express their understanding of the universe and their place within it. Cosmic themes in their murals, sculptures, and pottery served not only as a record of their beliefs, but as a means of connecting the earthly realm to the divine. The Maya's intricate knowledge of the cosmos was not simply an intellectual pursuit, but a way of life that influenced everything from politics to personal identity. It was a worldview that deeply connected the Maya to their environment, their history, and their gods. Understanding the cosmos was a way for the Maya to maintain order and balance in the world, ensuring the continued harmony between the earth and the heavens. The connection between art and astronomy. In Maya civilization, art and astronomy were intricately connected, with celestial events playing a significant role in shaping both artistic expression and the daily lives of the Maya people. The Maya's profound understanding of the heavens was reflected in their art, as celestial movements and astronomical cycles provided a symbolic framework for much of their artistic output. Through their art, the Maya expressed not only their scientific knowledge, but also their spiritual connection to the cosmos, incorporating astronomical themes and celestial alignments into their architecture, sculpture, murals, and pottery. Maya architecture, in particular, demonstrated the deep connection between art and astronomy. Many Maya cities were meticulously planned with structures that aligned with celestial events such as the solstices, equinoxes, and the rising and setting of specific stars and planets, particularly Venus. The alignment of temples and pyramids to these astronomical events was not accidental. It was a deliberate act of integrating celestial bodies into the physical realm, ensuring that art and architecture were attuned to cosmic cycles. For instance, the pyramid at El Castillo in Chichen Itza was designed to create a visual effect during the equinoxes when the shadow of the steps created the appearance of a serpent descending the pyramid, symbolizing the return of the serpent god Kukulkan. In addition to architectural alignments, the Maya used art to represent celestial phenomena. Venus, the sun, and the moon frequently appeared in murals, sculptures, and pottery, often depicted as gods or symbols of particular aspects of Maya life. The planet Venus, for example, was associated with the god Kukulkan, and its movements through the sky were seen as powerful omens that influenced everything from warfare to agriculture. The Maya used their art to record these events, creating visual representations that conveyed both the literal movement of the stars and the mythological significance behind them. This cosmic symbolism was an essential part of Maya art, helping to link the heavens to the earth and providing a visual representation of the Maya's relationship with the cosmos. Astronomy also influenced the Maya's calendar systems, and this connection was reflected in their art. The Maya's highly accurate calendar, which tracked the movements of the sun, moon, and planets, was frequently depicted in codices, ceramics, and stelae. These artworks served not only as a tool for recording time, but also as a means of ensuring that the Maya remained in harmony with the celestial rhythms. Through their art, the Maya expressed their understanding of the cyclical nature of time, where art and astronomy were seen as part of a larger, interconnected cosmic order. In summary, the Maya used art as a means to understand, document, and celebrate their relationship with the cosmos. The connection between art and astronomy in Maya culture was not just about visual representation. It was about creating a harmonious bond between the earthly and the divine, where the movements of the stars and planets were a guiding force in their spiritual and artistic expression. Maya art and cosmological beliefs. Maya art was deeply intertwined with the civilization's cosmological beliefs, reflecting the Maya's understanding of the universe, the cycles of nature, and their spiritual relationship with the gods. The Maya worldview was shaped by a complex system of beliefs in which the heavens, the earth, and the underworld were interconnected and constantly in motion. Art served as a means to express these beliefs, creating visual representations that depicted the cosmic order, the gods, and the forces that governed life. Central to Maya cosmology was the concept of the world as a layered entity. The Maya believed in three main realms: the heavens, the earth, and Xibalba, the underworld. Each of these realms was inhabited by different deities and spiritual forces, and the relationships between these realms were represented in the Maya's artistic creations. Artworks often depicted gods, spirits, and mythological figures associated with these realms, emphasizing the constant interaction between the divine and the earthly. These figures were often shown in stylized forms, reflecting the symbolic importance of the gods and the metaphysical connections between human beings and the cosmos. Maya art also depicted celestial phenomena, which were seen as direct expressions of the god's will. The movements of the sun, moon, Venus, and other celestial bodies were believed to influence human life, and the Maya closely observed these patterns to guide their agricultural, political, and religious practices. Artistic representations of the gods associated with these celestial bodies were common in murals, stela, and pottery, serving as visual reminders of the cosmic forces that governed the Maya world. Venus, in particular, held great importance in Maya cosmology as the morning star associated with the god Kukulkan, and was often depicted in art to signify its powerful influence on warfare, ritual, and fertility. Furthermore, the Maya believed that the cosmos was cyclical, with time moving in repetitive cycles of creation and destruction. This belief in cyclical time was reflected in their art, as many artworks contain symbols of rebirth, transformation, and the eternal return. The concept of time was intricately linked to their creation myths, which were often depicted in sculptural works and murals, representing the ongoing cycles of the universe. These myths often centered around gods and heroes who traveled through the realms, engaging in acts that maintained the balance of the cosmos. In conclusion, Maya art was a direct reflection of the civilization's cosmological beliefs. It served as a visual language that expressed their understanding of the cosmos, the divine forces that shaped their world, and their place in the grand cycle of life and time. Through their art, the Maya not only recorded their spiritual beliefs, but also engaged with the forces of the universe, ensuring a harmonious relationship between the earthly and the divine. Depictions of celestial bodies and deities in art. In Maya art, depictions of celestial bodies and deities were not merely decorative, but carried profound symbolic and religious meaning. The Maya had a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos, and their art reflected their belief in the significant role celestial bodies played in daily life, governance, and religious rituals. Central to their cosmological system were the sun, moon, Venus, and the other planets, which were seen as divine entities that influenced earthly affairs. The gods associated with these celestial bodies were often depicted in elaborate murals, carvings, and pottery, conveying their power and the Maya people's reverence for them. The sun was one of the most important celestial bodies in Maya belief, seen as a life-giving force that governed time and seasons. The sun god, often represented as a jaguar or a deity with solar attributes, was central to the Maya's agricultural calendar and daily activities. Maya artists frequently portrayed the sun god in association with important cycles, such as the dawn or the zenith sun, emphasizing its role in sustaining life on Earth. Sun depictions were often paired with motifs symbolizing life, growth, and fertility, connecting the celestial to the terrestrial world. The moon, on the other hand, had associations with the night, the underworld, and cycles of regeneration. The moon goddess, sometimes depicted as a rabbit, was linked to fertility, the calendar, and various ceremonial practices. Artworks illustrating the moon goddess often featured imagery related to birth, transformation, and death, signifying the cyclical nature of life. The Maya believed that the moon played a key role in marking the passage of time, particularly in the context of the lunar cycle, which influenced agricultural and ritualistic practices. Venus, the morning and evening star, was another key celestial body depicted in Maya art. The Maya associated Venus with warfare, conflict, and rebirth. The planet was seen as both a harbinger of destruction and a symbol of renewal, and the deity associated with Venus, Kukulkan, was often shown in art as a feathered serpent or in the form of a warrior. Venus was especially significant in the Maya long count calendar and played a central role in the timing of important events like warfare, rituals, and sacrifices. Beyond these celestial bodies, Maya art also depicted the gods and supernatural beings who governed various aspects of life. These deities were often shown with specific attributes or symbols, such as feathered headdresses, jaguar skins, or elaborate jewelry, indicating their divine status and their connection to the celestial realm. These depictions reinforced the Maya belief that the gods were present in all aspects of life, and their actions in the heavens directly impacted the lives of the people below. In sum, the art of the Maya was a reflection of their deep cosmic understanding, where celestial bodies and deities were central figures in both their spiritual and everyday lives. The role of art in the Maya calendar. The Maya calendar was a highly intricate system of timekeeping that was integral to their religious, agricultural, and social practices. Art played a crucial role in conveying and recording the cycles of time, as well as the spiritual significance of each period. The Maya utilized a combination of the Hab, Tzolk'in, and long count calendars, and these time cycles were frequently depicted in a variety of artistic forms, from stelae and murals to codices and ceramics. Through these works, the Maya were able to document not only the passage of time, but also the events and rituals associated with specific calendar dates. The Tzolk'in, the sacred 260-day calendar, was one of the most important timekeeping systems in Maya society. Each day in the Tzolk'in cycle was associated with a specific combination of numbers and names, representing different deities, natural forces, or cosmic principles. Artists often illustrated these days through symbolic representations of gods, animals, and natural phenomena. These illustrations were not merely decorative, but served as a visual language to communicate the calendar's spiritual significance. For instance, in many codices, artists would depict deities or glyphs that represented certain days, offering a visual record of how specific times were linked to divine actions and societal events. Similarly, the Hab, the solar calendar, consisted of 365 days, which were divided into 18 months of 20 days each, plus a short month of 5 days known as the Wayeb. This calendar was critical for agricultural planning, marking the proper times for planting and harvesting crops. Artworks that depicted the Hab often showed ceremonial scenes, such as offerings to the gods during specific months or rituals intended to ensure a good harvest. These works would sometimes include symbols of the months, gods associated with agriculture, or scenes of rituals and ceremonies that were linked to specific times on the Hab calendar. The long count calendar, which tracked longer periods of time, was used to record historical events and significant moments in Maya history. The Maya used stelae, monuments, and inscriptions to commemorate these events, often associating them with particular dates on the long count calendar. These monuments were not only historical records, but also acts of ritual, connecting the political power of rulers with the cosmic order. Artistic depictions on these monuments, such as portraits of rulers or scenes of ritual sacrifice, were imbued with meaning, celebrating the alignment between human actions and the broader cosmic cycles. In all these contexts, art was a key tool for the Maya in expressing and understanding their calendar systems. It allowed them to visually represent the passage of time and the cycles of life, while also connecting everyday events with the broader cosmic and spiritual forces that governed their world. Through these artistic depictions, the Maya ensured that the intricate details of their calendars and the events they marked were preserved for future generations. Chapter 10: Maya Art and Daily Life. Maya art was deeply interwoven with the everyday lives of its people, serving as both a reflection of their daily experiences and a means of communicating their cultural values, beliefs, and social structures. Art was not confined to elite or ceremonial spaces, but permeated nearly every aspect of Maya society. From the objects they used in their homes to the decoration of public spaces and the clothing they wore, art played a significant role in both the functional and symbolic aspects of daily life. In the domestic sphere, Maya pottery and ceramics were used for practical purposes such as cooking, storage, and serving food. But these items were often decorated with elaborate designs. The intricate patterns, images of animals, gods, and scenes of daily life found on these objects were not merely aesthetic but also had symbolic significance. For instance, vessels used in rituals or feasts might feature depictions of deities, emphasizing the importance of these occasions in the broader spiritual and cultural context of Maya society. These ceramics were an essential part of Maya households, reflecting the people's connection to the natural and spiritual worlds. Maya textiles were also a vital part of daily life, serving both practical and symbolic purposes. Clothing and accessories were often made from woven cotton, and the designs used in textiles held deep cultural meanings. Patterns could signify social status, regional identity, or the wearer's relationship to particular gods or cosmic forces. For instance, elites might wear clothing adorned with intricate designs that represented their connection to the divine, while commoners might wear simpler garments. The use of textiles also extended to ceremonial contexts, where clothing and other textile products were key elements in religious rituals, representing both the human and divine realms. In addition to household items, public spaces in Maya cities were also filled with art. The design of marketplaces, ball courts, and temples often featured sculptural elements, murals, and carvings that told stories of mythological significance or celebrated the accomplishments of rulers. Stelae, monuments, and altars served as a form of public art that documented historical events and reinforced the social hierarchies that structured Maya society. These artworks help to visually communicate the power of rulers and the sacred nature of their authority, intertwining political, religious, and artistic elements. Overall, Maya art was not just a visual expression of beauty, but an integral part of daily life. It connected the mundane with the divine, allowing the Maya to navigate their world while reinforcing the spiritual, social, and political frameworks that governed their civilization. Through art, the Maya expressed their understanding of the world, their place in it, and their relationship to the cosmos. Art in everyday objects. In Maya society, art was not confined to ceremonial or elite spaces. It permeated every aspect of daily life, even in the most utilitarian of objects. The Maya viewed everyday items not just as functional tools, but as opportunities for artistic expression. This widespread incorporation of art into daily life reveals how deeply visual culture was integrated into their worldview. One of the most prominent examples of art in everyday objects was pottery. Maya ceramics, used for storing food, cooking, and serving meals, were often beautifully decorated with intricate designs. These designs could feature everything from geometric patterns to depictions of animals, gods, or mythological scenes. Pottery was essential in Maya households, and its decoration was not purely for aesthetic purposes. The designs often carried symbolic meanings, linking the household and its inhabitants to the spiritual and natural world. For instance, pottery used in rituals or feasts might have images related to fertility or abundance, signifying the importance of these events in the Maya understanding of life cycles. Similarly, textiles played a vital role in daily life. Maya clothing, made primarily from cotton, was often decorated with handwoven patterns. These patterns had both decorative and symbolic functions, often representing the wearer's status or regional identity. While the elite might wear intricately designed garments that symbolized their connection to the divine, commoners wore simpler clothing, though still often adorned with symbolic patterns. Textiles also played a role in ceremonial life, where the way one dressed could indicate social rank, profession, or role in religious practices. Another form of everyday art was the carving of small objects, such as tools, figurines, and personal adornments. These small carved objects, made from jade, bone, or wood, were often highly detailed and included symbolic motifs tied to Maya mythology and religion. Even the most mundane items, such as a hand tool or a small vessel, could be artistically crafted to carry cultural significance. The attention to detail and the incorporation of symbolic designs into these objects show how the Maya infused every part of their world with meaning. These objects of daily life were not only functional, but also visual expressions of the Maya's worldview, beliefs, and social structures. The art in everyday objects helped the Maya to navigate their world, grounding them in their cultural and spiritual beliefs and reinforcing their place in the larger cosmic order. Whether in the kitchen, on the body, or in the home, art was a constant, grounding force in Maya life. The influence of art on Maya social life. Art was not merely an aesthetic pursuit in Maya society. It was intricately woven into the social fabric of daily life. The creation and display of art were essential to defining individual and collective identities, marking social hierarchies, and reinforcing the spiritual and political ideologies of the Maya civilization. Art served as a powerful tool in mediating social relationships, expressing status, and affirming the authority of the ruling class, while also reflecting the interconnectedness of the people with their environment, history, and deities. The most apparent influence of art on Maya social life can be seen in the visual representations of power and authority. The elite class, particularly rulers, often commissioned large-scale art, such as stelae, sculptures, and murals, to commemorate their deeds and assert their dominance. These artistic works, typically decorated with detailed imagery of royal figures and gods, would be placed in public spaces like temples or plazas, where they could be seen by both locals and visitors. These monuments not only marked the ruler's importance, but also functioned as a form of political propaganda, reinforcing the divine right to rule and the centrality of the ruler in Maya society. In the context of religious and ceremonial life, art played a significant role in structuring social interactions. The Maya practiced a highly structured system of rituals and ceremonies, many of which were publicly performed by elite priests and rulers. The visual aspects of these ceremonies, often accompanied by artfully designed ceremonial objects, help to establish a sense of unity among participants and spectators. Whether through the performance of religious rituals or the display of painted and carved images in sacred spaces, art served to maintain the social order by creating a tangible connection between the Maya people and their gods. Moreover, art was an important part of social life in the household. In everyday life, art was used to convey personal and family identity. For example, the decoration of household objects, from pottery to textiles, was a way for families to express their social standing and cultural heritage. These items were often passed down through generations, reinforcing familial connections and traditions. In the Maya world, the use and appreciation of art were not limited to the elite. Art played a part in the lives of all social classes. Commoners also created and decorated their own tools, clothing, and domestic objects, and these artistic practices formed a significant part of their social identity. Thus, art was both a symbol of social status and a means of community building, intertwining the lives of the Maya people across social boundaries. Art and its role in Maya rituals and festivals. In the Maya civilization, art was not only a medium of aesthetic expression, but also a crucial component of rituals and festivals, serving both spiritual and social functions. The Maya believed that art could connect the human world to the divine, allowing them to communicate with their gods, ancestors, and the cosmos. During rituals and festivals, art took on a sacred role, being used to honor deities, mark significant events, and reinforce communal identities. The Maya calendar was central to their religious practices, and many of their festivals were tied to celestial events such as solstices, equinoxes, and the movements of planets. These festivals were deeply symbolic and often included elaborate ceremonies that involved art in various forms, such as murals, textiles, pottery, and performance art. These artistic expressions were not only aesthetically significant, but also served as a means of ensuring the balance and harmony of the world, which the Maya believed was maintained through the intercession of the gods. In rituals, particularly those involving offerings to gods, art was often used to symbolize the abundance and sacredness of the offerings. Sculpted figurines, painted pottery, and carved stones were frequently presented as gifts to deities, representing fertility, life, or specific aspects of nature and the cosmos. These ritualistic objects were often decorated with intricate designs that incorporated symbols of the gods, such as serpents, birds, and jaguars, as well as elements that reflected the Maya's cosmological beliefs. During important festivals, art also played a role in the dramatic presentations of mythologies and creation stories. For example, murals were often painted in temples and palaces to depict the divine narratives that connected the rulers to the gods. These murals served to legitimize the ruler's divine authority, often illustrating their interactions with gods, ancestors, and cosmic forces. Festivals would be accompanied by ceremonial dances, music, and performances, all of which were enhanced by artful costumes, headdresses, and accessories designed to embody the symbolic roles of the participants. Additionally, art in Maya rituals and festivals had a communal aspect. The entire community, from the nobility to the common people, would take part in these celebrations, and art was used to bring them together in shared experiences. Artistic expression helped create a sense of belonging and collective identity, as people participated in the creation of ritual objects or adorned themselves in beautiful, meaningful attire that reflected their cultural heritage. In sum, art played a multifaceted role in Maya rituals and festivals, intertwining spiritual, social, and political dimensions. Through the use of artistic media, the Maya ensured that their rituals were imbued with divine significance and that their festivals maintained a profound connection to their cosmology, gods, and social structures. Art as a medium for storytelling. In Maya society, art was more than just decorative or symbolic. It was an essential tool for storytelling, used to communicate complex narratives, record historical events, and pass down cultural knowledge. The Maya employed a range of artistic media, murals, pottery, sculpture, and textiles, to convey stories that were central to their religious beliefs, social structures, and daily life. These artworks acted as visual language, encoding information that might otherwise be lost to time. Maya murals, perhaps the most famous form of storytelling, often depicted scenes from mythology, history, and royal life. These vivid paintings, found on the walls of temples, palaces, and tombs, served as both decorative elements and historical documents. They illustrated creation myths, the triumphs of rulers, and the role of gods in the Maya worldview. The use of these murals to narrate stories was an immersive experience for the viewer, as the artwork would cover entire walls or rooms, creating a dynamic space in which the story could unfold. In addition to murals, Maya pottery was another powerful storytelling medium. Often decorated with intricate imagery, Maya ceramics depicted mythological creatures, gods, or daily life, illustrating the connection between the spiritual and earthly realms. These vessels were used in rituals and ceremonies, and the imagery on the pots often told stories related to fertility, death, or warfare. Through these artworks, the Maya were able to communicate vital cultural stories and beliefs that were passed down through generations. Sculpture also served as a key storytelling tool in Maya art. Stelae, large stone monuments, were inscribed with glyphs and images that recounted historical events, such as the reigns of kings, wars, and other significant moments. These stone monuments acted as both public records and visual stories, often positioned in public spaces for the entire community to see. The imagery carved into stelae frequently depicted rulers in battle or performing important rituals, linking their deeds with divine approval. Textiles, too, were used as a storytelling medium in Maya culture, though in a more symbolic and often personal way. The designs woven into garments and cloths were rich with meaning, telling stories about the wearer's status, occupation, or even their place in the cosmic order. These textiles often carried motifs of animals, plants, and deities, each of which had a specific narrative significance. In all these forms, Maya art played a pivotal role in preserving and transmitting stories, beliefs, and historical events. Art was not simply for decoration, it was an enduring record of the Maya's collective memory, encapsulating their worldview, their triumphs, and their challenges in a visually rich and meaningful way. Chapter 11: The Decline of Maya Art and Civilization. The decline of the Maya civilization, which unfolded over several centuries, marked a dramatic shift in the political, social, and cultural landscape of Mesoamerica. While the causes of this decline are complex and multifaceted, it had profound effects on Maya art, with notable changes in the style, purpose, and scale of artistic production. By the time the civilization's major city-states experienced their collapse in the 9th century, the grandeur of Maya art was already showing signs of transformation. The Classic period, which spanned from about 250 to 900 CE, witnessed the height of Maya art, architecture, and urban development. During this time, the Maya produced monumental stelae, intricate murals, and vast temple complexes that symbolized their cultural and religious significance. However, as the political and social systems of the Maya city-states began to fracture due to factors like warfare, resource depletion, and environmental stress, there was a noticeable decline in artistic production. Some cities saw the abandonment of monumental building projects, and the large-scale creation of public art ceased. Stelae and murals that had once recorded the achievements of rulers and gods were no longer commissioned, leaving behind only a few remnants of this once thriving artistic tradition. One of the central factors contributing to this decline was the environmental strain placed on the Maya through agricultural expansion and deforestation. The overuse of the land, combined with changing climate patterns such as drought, is believed to have weakened the economic foundation of Maya society, making it more difficult to support large-scale artistic projects. Additionally, frequent warfare between rival city-states disrupted the social fabric, leading to the collapse of centralized power and the abandonment of cities. The loss of patronage from the elite class, who were the primary commissioners of art, further contributed to the decline of the artistic traditions. Despite the collapse of the southern lowland cities, during the Terminal Classic period, Maya civilization persisted in some regions, such as the northern Yucatan and the highlands. In these areas, art continued to play an important role, albeit with a shift in focus. The post-classic period saw a decrease in monumental architecture and the elaboration of art, as well as a more simplified aesthetic. Nevertheless, even as the grand cities of the southern Maya lowlands fell into decline, the cultural and artistic legacy of the Maya lived on, influencing later Mesoamerican civilizations. Ultimately, the decline of Maya art mirrored the broader transformation of Maya civilization. As the powerful city-states crumbled and the political structures weakened, the lavish artistic expression that had defined the classic period was replaced by a more restrained and localized form of artistic production. While the decline of the Maya civilization marked the end of an era, the art and cultural legacy they left behind continued to shape the region for centuries. Factors leading to the decline of the Maya civilization. The decline of the Maya civilization remains one of the most debated and complex subjects in Mesoamerican history. Multiple factors contributed to the downfall of the once powerful Maya city-states, especially during the terminal classic period around 800 to 900 CE. The decline was not a singular event, but a gradual process that affected various regions of the Maya world differently. Several interconnected factors, environmental, political, social, and economic, played pivotal roles in weakening the Maya civilization. One of the most significant factors contributing to the collapse was environmental stress, particularly the depletion of natural resources. As the Maya expanded their agricultural activities, large areas of forests were cleared for farming, leading to soil erosion and decreased agricultural productivity. This deforestation disrupted the natural balance of the region, contributing to the loss of fertile soil and diminished crop yields. Additionally, the region experienced periods of prolonged drought, which exacerbated the environmental strain. These environmental challenges severely impacted food production, leading to scarcity and social instability. Political instability and warfare also played a crucial role in the Maya decline. During the Classic period, Maya city-states were often engaged in fierce competition, with rulers waging wars to expand their influence and resources. However, over time, these conflicts escalated, weakening the power of individual states. Increased warfare among the city-states drained resources and created internal divisions, making it harder to maintain political and social cohesion. The breakdown of these political structures led to the abandonment of many urban centers as the rulers lost control over their territories and support from their populations. Social unrest and class struggles further contributed to the Maya collapse. The elite class, who had enjoyed the wealth and power generated through trade, tribute, and agriculture, found themselves in increasing conflict with the common people. These tensions may have led to uprisings or mass migrations, as the lower classes sought refuge in less affected regions or simply abandoned cities in search of better conditions. Finally, external factors such as invasions by neighboring peoples, including the Toltecs and other Mesoamerican groups, may have also contributed to the Maya downfall. Although evidence of direct military incursions is limited, these external pressures, combined with the internal challenges faced by the Maya, may have hastened the collapse of their great cities. In conclusion, the decline of the Maya civilization was the result of a complex interplay of environmental degradation, political turmoil, social unrest, and external pressures. While the collapse of the southern cities was dramatic, Maya culture and influence persisted in other regions, underscoring the resilience of this remarkable civilization. The impact of the collapse on artistic traditions. The collapse of the Maya civilization, particularly during the terminal classic period, circa 800 to 900 CE, had profound effects on their artistic traditions. While the decline of the Maya city-states caused significant political and social upheaval, it also marked a shift in the production and patronage of art. The art that had once flourished in the great Maya cities began to diminish as urban centers were abandoned and the elites lost their influence. One of the most visible impacts on Maya art was the decline in monumental architecture and large-scale sculptural works. During the Classic period, cities like Tikal, Palenque, and Copan were known for their grand pyramids, temples, and intricately carved stela, which depicted rulers, deities, and important events. However, as political and economic structures disintegrated, the resources necessary for constructing such monumental works dwindled. The grandiose building projects and the elaborate carvings on stelae and altars became increasingly rare. This reduction in monumental art reflected the decline in both political power and the wealth that had supported these artistic endeavors. Similarly, the production of painted murals and ceramics, which were central to Maya art and often depicted both daily life and cosmological themes, became less frequent. In the post-collapse period, there was a noticeable decrease in the vibrancy and complexity of murals and pottery styles. Many of the traditional motifs that had been used to convey royal power, religious beliefs, and historical events seemed to vanish or undergo significant transformation as Maya society shifted away from its previous structure. Pottery production did not cease entirely, but the intricately painted ceramics that had been characteristic of the classic period saw a decline in both quantity and quality. However, despite this shift, artistic traditions did not entirely disappear. In some areas, such as the northern Yucatan Peninsula, Maya art continued to evolve in a more localized, less monumental style. Smaller-scale works, including ceramics, textiles, and jewelry, continued to reflect Maya craftsmanship and aesthetic values, albeit in a more modest form. These objects, often created for daily use or for ritual purposes, retained the symbolic and cultural significance that had been central to the Maya worldview. In conclusion, the collapse of the Maya civilization led to a significant shift in artistic production. While monumental art and large-scale public works dwindled, more personal and localized artistic expressions persisted, reflecting the resilience of Maya cultural traditions, even as their political and social structures crumbled. This transformation demonstrates how art can adapt to changing circumstances and continue to embody the essence of a culture, even in times of crisis. Preservation and rediscovery of Maya art. The preservation and rediscovery of Maya art have played a crucial role in our understanding of this ancient civilization. Despite the collapse and subsequent decline of the Maya cities, many of their artistic achievements have survived, largely due to the resilience of the materials and the locations where they were created. These artworks, along with the efforts of archaeologists, historians, and conservationists, have allowed for the rediscovery and appreciation of Maya art in modern times. The physical preservation of Maya art was aided by the use of durable materials such as stone, ceramics, and stucco, which allowed many works to endure for centuries. Sculptural works, including stela, altars, and temple facades, were often carved from limestone, a material that is relatively resilient to the elements. Some of these monumental sculptures remained buried under layers of dirt and vegetation, effectively protecting them from the ravages of time. Similarly, murals painted on the walls of temples and palaces were occasionally preserved when covered by soil or rubble during the abandonment of Maya cities. The murals in places like Bonampak, which depict detailed scenes of Maya court life and rituals, are among the most famous examples of this accidental preservation. The rediscovery of Maya art began in earnest during the 19th century, with explorers, archaeologists, and scholars making important strides in uncovering the lost cities and their artistic treasures. One of the first major rediscoveries was that of the ruins at Copan and Palenque, which began to attract attention in the early 1800s. These sites contained a wealth of sculptures, stelae, and other artifacts that showcase the sophistication and complexity of Maya art. As more sites were excavated, including Tikal, Uxmal, and Chichen Itza, the world became increasingly aware of the Maya's artistic legacy. In addition to the physical rediscovery of Maya art, there has been a concerted effort to understand its meaning and significance. Linguists and epigraphers have worked to decode the Maya hieroglyphic script, which is intricately linked to their art, providing essential context for understanding the depictions of rulers, gods, and historical events. The study of Maya iconography and symbolism has also contributed to a deeper appreciation of the spiritual and cultural role that art played in Maya society. Today, preservation efforts continue, with archaeologists and conservators using modern technology to protect and restore Maya artworks. Efforts to digitally document and replicate stelae and murals ensure that even as physical preservation challenges continue, Maya art will remain accessible to future generations. Through these ongoing efforts, Maya art continues to captivate the world, offering invaluable insights into the civilization's complex social, political, and religious life. The legacy of the Maya in modern culture. The legacy of the Maya civilization continues to resonate in modern culture, both through their rich artistic traditions and their profound influence on contemporary societies. Despite the challenges that the Maya faced during their decline, their achievements in art, architecture, science, and literature remain important touchstones for understanding their cultural impact. In modern times, the Maya civilization's influence is felt across various aspects of global culture, from art and literature to modern-day Maya communities that continue to honor and preserve their heritage. One of the most notable aspects of the Maya legacy is their art, which remains a key source of inspiration for contemporary artists, designers, and architects. Maya art's intricate iconography, vibrant color palettes, and powerful symbolism continue to inspire both indigenous and non-indigenous creators. Maya motifs and designs are often seen in textiles, jewelry, and graphic design, creating a fusion of ancient aesthetics with modern techniques. Their architecture, particularly the monumental pyramids and temples, has inspired modern architectural design, especially in Mesoamerica, where ancient Maya ruins influence the layout of modern cities and public spaces. The Maya civilization's sophisticated understanding of astronomy and mathematics has also left a lasting impact. The Maya calendar, with its intricate system of cycles, continues to intrigue scholars and enthusiasts alike. The precision of their astronomical observations and their ability to track celestial events with such accuracy are considered extraordinary achievements. This knowledge has been integrated into modern scientific discussions on timekeeping and cosmology, furthering our understanding of ancient innovations. The Maya's ability to predict astronomical events, such as eclipses and planetary alignments, remains a testament to their advanced intellectual abilities. The cultural continuity of the Maya is also significant. Many indigenous Maya communities today, particularly in southern Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize, maintain strong ties to their ancient heritage. They continue to speak Maya languages, practice traditional customs, and uphold rituals that are rooted in the same spiritual beliefs that guided their ancestors. These communities often view their artistic traditions, including weaving, pottery, and beadwork, as a way to connect with their heritage and preserve the stories and practices of the past. In popular culture, the Maya have become subjects of fascination and inspiration in books, movies, and television. From the popularization of Maya ruins as archaeological wonders to the portrayal of their mysterious culture in films like Apocalypto, modern media continues to fuel interest in the Maya civilization. Through these representations, both the mysteries and the grandeur of the Maya culture remain alive in global consciousness. The legacy of the Maya civilization is, therefore, not only a historical artifact, but a living, evolving influence on the cultural, intellectual, and artistic landscapes of the modern world. Chapter 12: The Legacy of Maya Art in Contemporary Culture. The legacy of Maya art continues to thrive in contemporary culture, influencing a wide range of artistic disciplines, social movements, and cultural identities. The intricate symbolism, vivid colors, and rich mythology embedded in Maya art have found new relevance in today's world, with modern artists, scholars, and indigenous communities drawing inspiration from this ancient tradition. Through these expressions, the cultural memory of the Maya civilization endures, inspiring admiration and curiosity while fostering a deeper understanding of their sophisticated artistic achievements. In the realm of visual arts, Maya artistic styles continue to inspire contemporary painters, sculptors, and graphic designers. The striking iconography and geometric patterns found in ancient Maya murals, ceramics, and stone carvings are often reinterpreted and incorporated into modern art forms. Many artists utilize the bold, stylized representations of deities, animals, and cosmic forces from Maya culture to create visually impactful works that reflect both historical reverence and contemporary perspectives. These modern adaptations not only honor Maya artistic traditions, but also connect them with current global conversations about identity, cultural heritage, and the power of symbols. Maya art has also influenced the realm of fashion and design. The geometric patterns and vibrant colors found in ancient textiles, ceramics, and murals are frequently utilized in contemporary fashion collections, home decor, and accessories. Designers, especially those with indigenous roots, often draw upon traditional Maya motifs to create clothing, jewelry, and textiles that celebrate their cultural heritage while making a bold statement in the modern world. In this way, Maya art not only preserves ancient traditions, but also finds new expressions in the world of fashion and design. Furthermore, Maya art holds great significance in the revitalization of indigenous cultures and identities. For contemporary Maya communities, especially in Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize, the continued practice and promotion of traditional art forms serve as a powerful means of cultural resistance and reclamation. By preserving and sharing Maya art, these communities assert their cultural autonomy and reassert their history in the face of colonization and globalization. The use of Maya symbols and techniques in art, textiles, and ceremonial practices fosters a deeper sense of pride and connection to ancestral roots, enabling a cultural resurgence that bridges the past and present. In the world of digital media, Maya art has gained prominence in video games, animation, and interactive experiences. The vibrant and fantastical imagery of Maya deities, cosmic symbols, and architecture has been reimagined in gaming and animation, often inspired by ancient myths and stories. These representations introduce younger audiences to the artistry and mysticism of the Maya, making their rich cultural heritage accessible to a global audience. The legacy of Maya art in contemporary culture serves as both a celebration of ancient creativity and a powerful tool for cultural preservation. Through artistic innovation, the profound influence of Maya art continues to shape our visual, social, and cultural landscapes today. Maya art's influence on modern artists. The influence of Maya art on modern artists is profound, with elements of its rich symbolism, intricate design, and vibrant colors continuing to inspire creative works across various art forms. Maya art's distinctive aesthetic, rooted in centuries of cultural evolution, resonates with contemporary artists who draw from its visual language to explore themes of identity, spirituality, and cultural heritage. The enduring legacy of Maya artistic traditions has fostered new interpretations and reimaginings in the modern world, particularly in the fields of painting, sculpture, and mixed media art. One of the most striking aspects of Maya art is its complex symbolism, which often incorporates deities, mythological creatures, and cosmic forces. Modern artists are particularly drawn to the way Maya artists integrated the natural and supernatural worlds through visual representation. This blend of reality and mythology has influenced contemporary painters who use these themes to create works that bridge the past and present, allowing for a deeper exploration of personal and collective consciousness. Maya iconography, with its rich layers of meaning, is often reinterpreted in a modern context, giving rise to vibrant and dynamic works that challenge traditional artistic boundaries. The bold colors and geometric shapes characteristic of Maya art also resonate in the work of contemporary artists. Maya murals, pottery, and textiles feature vivid hues and intricate patterns that inspire modern designs, particularly in graphic art and digital media. For instance, the stylized depictions of the cosmos, gods, and animals in Maya art have been reimagined in the works of artists who seek to evoke similar visual energy in their own creative endeavors. These patterns and colors are frequently translated into modern works that explore both aesthetic appeal and cultural depth, infusing contemporary art with historical references and a sense of timelessness. Maya art's influence extends beyond painting and sculpture, with its presence seen in fashion, street art, and design. Artists working in these fields incorporate Maya symbols, motifs, and traditional techniques into their creations to honor the ancient civilization while contributing to a globalized cultural conversation. Whether through textile design, tattoo art, or visual media, modern artists are continually referencing Maya visual culture, blending ancient traditions with contemporary sensibilities to create new forms of cultural expression. Incorporating elements of Maya art into contemporary works not only serves as a tribute to the ancient civilization, but also helps to preserve and revitalize cultural heritage. The continuing exploration of Maya symbolism and aesthetics in modern art ensures that these ancient traditions remain relevant, sparking new dialogues about identity, history, and cultural continuity. For modern artists, Maya art provides a rich source of inspiration, linking the past with the future through innovative and meaningful artistic endeavors. The preservation and interpretation of Maya art. The preservation and interpretation of Maya art are crucial in maintaining the cultural legacy of one of the most sophisticated civilizations of the ancient world. As the Maya civilization flourished for thousands of years, its art, architecture, and artifacts were integral to the expression of their beliefs, history, and social structure. Today, preserving and interpreting these artistic treasures offers invaluable insights into Maya life, while also posing significant challenges due to the fragility of the materials and the complexities of the culture. The preservation of Maya art often requires a multidisciplinary approach, involving archaeologists, conservators, and historians working together to protect and restore ancient artifacts. Many pieces of Maya art, such as murals, sculptures, and ceramics, are made from materials that are susceptible to deterioration over time, especially when exposed to the elements. Climate, humidity, and natural disasters like hurricanes and earthquakes have led to the degradation of many sites and artifacts. In response, efforts have been made to secure these objects in controlled environments, particularly in museums and research institutions, where conservation techniques can slow or prevent further damage. Additionally, some murals and stelae have been relocated or covered with protective layers to shield them from environmental threats. The interpretation of Maya art, however, is a more nuanced and ongoing process. Maya artwork is deeply embedded with symbolism, mythology, and religious significance, which can be challenging to decode. Modern researchers often rely on a combination of iconographic analysis, comparative studies, and the Maya writing system, particularly the decipherment of the Maya script, to unlock the meaning of various symbols and motifs. Artifacts are carefully studied for clues about the Maya worldview, including their understanding of the cosmos, deities, and social hierarchies. This interpretation extends beyond academic research. It also involves collaboration with contemporary Maya communities who may have valuable knowledge about their ancestors' art, culture, and traditions. Their input ensures that the interpretation of Maya art remains grounded in a cultural context, honoring both historical accuracy and indigenous perspectives. The digital age has also contributed to the preservation and interpretation of Maya art, with technologies such as 3D scanning and virtual reconstruction offering new ways to engage with these ancient works. These advancements allow researchers and the public to interact with reconstructed sites and artifacts in ways that were previously impossible, providing a deeper appreciation for the complexity and beauty of Maya artistry. Ultimately, the preservation and interpretation of Maya art is not only a means of safeguarding the past, but also of ensuring that future generations can understand and connect with the rich cultural heritage of the Maya civilization. Through careful preservation efforts and ongoing research, Maya art continues to inspire and inform our understanding of this remarkable ancient culture. Maya art in museums and archaeological sites. Maya art occupies a significant place in museums and archaeological sites around the world, offering a window into the rich history and cultural achievements of the ancient Maya civilization. These artifacts not only showcase the artistic mastery of the Maya people, but also reveal deep insights into their society, religion, and daily life. Museums and archaeological sites are essential for preserving, displaying, and interpreting this art, allowing modern audiences to engage with the legacy of one of the most sophisticated ancient cultures. In museums, Maya art is often presented in exhibits that highlight various aspects of Maya society, such as their religious practices, social structures, and technological innovations. Artifacts like intricately carved stelae, painted ceramics, vibrant murals, and delicate jewelry offer a direct connection to the past. Museums also provide a space for scholarly research and public education, where visitors can learn about the diverse techniques and materials used in Maya art, as well as the cultural and symbolic meanings behind each piece. These institutions play a pivotal role in preserving Maya art, ensuring that these objects are protected and studied for future generations. Many major museums, such as the British Museum, the National Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City, and the Museum of the Americas in Guatemala, house significant collections of Maya art, offering the public a chance to view these treasures in person. In addition to museums, archaeological sites where Maya cities once stood, such as Tikal, Palenque, and Copan, continue to be central to the appreciation and understanding of Maya art. These sites often feature well-preserved monuments, temples, and sculptures that were once part of larger urban centers. At these locations, visitors can explore the contexts in which the art was created, providing a more immersive experience. Many of the Maya's most famous artworks, like the murals of Bonampak and the stelae at Quirigua, are displayed in situ at these sites, offering a glimpse into the way these artworks functioned within the broader religious and civic life of the Maya people. Archaeological sites also serve as active hubs for ongoing research and excavation, where new discoveries can shed light on previously unknown aspects of Maya art and culture. These findings often help to refine our understanding of the art's role in Maya society, from its religious significance to its role in political propaganda and social stratification. Together, museums and archaeological sites play a vital role in safeguarding Maya art, interpreting its meaning, and ensuring that the legacy of this remarkable civilization endures for future generations. The continuing cultural relevance of Maya art. Maya art continues to hold significant cultural relevance, both within the Maya communities and in the broader context of global heritage. Despite the challenges faced by the Maya civilization, including colonialism, social upheaval, and environmental changes, the artistic traditions of the Maya have endured and continue to inspire and influence contemporary culture. For the Maya people, their art serves as a link to their ancestral heritage, reinforcing identity and cultural pride while offering a means of preserving their unique history and worldview. Maya art's enduring significance is particularly evident in the ways in which it is revitalized and interpreted by modern Maya communities. Contemporary Maya artists draw upon the traditions and symbolism of their ancestors to create artwork that reflects their cultural values, beliefs, and concerns. These artists incorporate Maya imagery, such as the jaguar, the serpent, and celestial motifs, alongside modern techniques and materials to create works that speak to both their traditional roots and current societal issues. This fusion of ancient and contemporary elements creates a dynamic dialogue between the past and present, helping to keep the spirit of Maya art alive. Beyond the Maya communities themselves, the art of the ancient Maya has had a lasting impact on global culture, influencing artists, architects, and designers around the world. The vibrant colors, intricate patterns, and symbolic imagery of Maya art have inspired a wide range of creative expressions, from mural painting and graphic design to fashion and jewelry. The continued study and appreciation of Maya art also encourage a broader understanding of the achievements of indigenous cultures, fostering respect for their contributions to human civilization. In addition to its cultural impact, Maya art has played a role in raising awareness about the importance of preserving indigenous cultures and heritage. The study and exhibition of Maya art have highlighted the need to protect archaeological sites and support indigenous communities in their efforts to maintain and revitalize their traditions. As such, the legacy of Maya art is not just about preserving objects, but also about empowering communities to continue the work of cultural preservation and innovation. Through its lasting influence on contemporary art, culture, and identity, Maya art remains a vibrant and essential part of the global cultural landscape. Its ability to adapt, evolve, and resonate with new generations ensures its ongoing relevance and significance. Chapter 13, Conclusion. The art of the ancient Maya stands as a profound testament to the creativity, sophistication, and spiritual depth of one of the most remarkable civilizations in history. From monumental architecture and intricate stone carvings to the vibrant murals and delicate textiles, the Maya created a rich and diverse artistic legacy that continues to captivate and inspire. Their artwork was not merely for aesthetic pleasure, but served as a reflection of their deeply held religious beliefs, social structures, and cosmic understanding, weaving together mythology, history, and ritual into tangible forms that transcended time. Throughout this exploration, it is clear that Maya art was intricately connected to every aspect of Maya life, from religion and politics to daily life and cosmic beliefs. The Maya understood art as a way to communicate with the gods, mark important historical events, and preserve cultural narratives for future generations. The physical expression of their identity, through sculpture, ceramics, textiles, and architecture, reinforced social hierarchy and reflected the ongoing relationship between the Maya people and the divine, the earth, and the cosmos. The role of art in Maya civilization, therefore, went beyond simple decoration. It was a tool for storytelling, a medium for understanding the world, and a means of connecting the individual to the divine. As we look at the Maya civilization today, we can see how their artistic legacy has survived not only through archaeological discoveries, but also through the enduring traditions of contemporary Maya communities. These communities continue to draw upon their ancestral knowledge and artistic practices, ensuring that the rich tapestry of Maya culture remains vibrant and relevant. While the Maya civilization itself may have experienced a decline, the influence of their art and culture endures, with modern artists, scholars, and cultural practitioners carrying the torch of this ancient legacy forward. The preservation and interpretation of Maya art in museums, archaeological sites, and through cultural projects continue to shed light on the profound sophistication of the Maya civilization, ensuring that future generations can continue to appreciate and learn from their artistic achievements. Ultimately, the story of Maya art is one of resilience, innovation, and cultural pride. It reminds us of the power of art to transcend time, connect cultures, and preserve the essence of human experience. The Maya legacy, as seen through their art, remains a vital part of our shared heritage and an ongoing source of inspiration for both the Maya people and the world at large.